Folks, this one is for you today or whenever you're listening to this. This is a Vanderpump Rules recap, season 11, episode 9. We are delving deeper and deeper into hell. That is right, folks. We've got a full recap ahead of us. So get ready to get knocked off your coal mining asses because this one is going to be wild. This was a supersized episode. That's when they really want to screw you. You think you can feel miserable with an hour episode. They throw an hour and a half episode out of you. That's true misery. And we keep coming back for more. So we'll get into all that. How are you guys? Are you good? I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Summer House Martha's Vineyard, castmates Bria and Jasmine on Tuesday. We had the amazing Jolene Lunzer giving us a state of the Vanderpump Rules union yesterday. And then Monday, of course, Kempire. So these are great episodes. I am so lucky to be able to talk to the people that I do. But now it is just me and you trying to figure this out. I'm slowly losing my mind over the last 4 years, and I think by the end of this season, I will have fully snapped. So we're going to do this recap of Vanderpump Rules today, and then come back Friday for a full recap of The Valley, Season 1, Episode 2, and I will be sharing some of the details of my night at Jax's Studio City, Jax's Saloon, his old saloon where he charges $16 for a scoop of beer cheese. I'll talk about my run-in with Jax and Kristen, Doute and Luke and that whole gang. I got to hang out. I've met many times Mary Payne from the Pink Shade podcast. Love her podcast and her producer Ingrid, and that was a blast. I talked a little bit about it on Patreon today. Hello, baddies over there. But I'll give you a lot of dirt on Friday with that because that fits more with The Valley. But it was there were some pretty funny moments, and I keep thinking about certain conversations I had, which I want to tell you about. But we got a lot of stuff to do today, so we're going to hop right in. I do want to say I had a couple cameos that I did that I wanted to shout out as well. Melissa, happy birthday. I sent you a cameo yesterday. You just had your birthday. Your husband gave you a cameo, and I loved your husband's message about you so much, and I wanted to say happy birthday on here. I hope you're doing good. I think you enjoy these, so I wanted to give you a shout out. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to Courtney. I gave her a pep talk on. Can you imagine asking for a pep talk from me? But I tried to do one. So, Courtney, I hope that helped. We never hear from Courtney again. She's like, well, obviously there's just no hope for anybody after that pep talk. Listen, I will never tell you how to live your life. I barely know how to live mine. But I will say I really enjoy talking about Vanderpump Rules. I also want to say, and Jolene Lunzer, who I talked to yesterday, is great at this. And I wanted to kind of do the same thing, is just remind you guys, I like to, this is like a lot of joking about these people and this show. There's more of a humorous bent. I will tell you exactly how I feel. We might have disagreements. You might completely be enraged by certain opinions I have, but that's okay. Everybody can have their own take on this. This is my take. This is how I see it. I also, after the recap, I want to talk about the Vanderpump Rules after show that's on Peacock because there was so much information on there this week that it was mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. I mean, truly, I'm going to give you some of the details after we do the recap because the episode was pretty good. And then I went to the after show and I was slack-jawed. I was like, zoinks, oh my God, what? There was so much information where I was like, how are you not putting this into the show? I was thinking about the art of storytelling, as you do when you watch a show like Vanderpump Rules. And I was listening to this great movie director, Edward Zwick. He has a fantastic memoir out right now about his career. And he was talking about the art of storytelling, and that the audiences, we are smarter than a lot of media will give us credit for. Is that sometimes you don't have to explain so much to the audience because we're already there. You don't have to tell us everything because we already sometimes assume something going into a scene. And I was thinking about the challenge of Vanderpump Rules in this season and in this day and age because we have so much information. We almost have more information than the show itself. So like I always talk about that 360 viewing experience, that it's not just the show anymore. It's the podcast. It's the horrible New York Times interviews. It's all of these things on top of the show. And we used to say about storytelling is that you want to show. You don't want to tell, you want to show. You want to show the action, you don't want to tell. But it's hard. because you can't, like, this isn't a documentary. You kind of have to plan ahead in a certain sense. And you want to try to get real moments, but it's nearly impossible. But I will say there are still some mind-blowing elements. Like, how are we just finding out now that Schwartz drunkenly like tried to make out with Scheana in Vegas over a decade ago? Like, what is going on? Like, can we maybe sit, like, have a corporate meeting with all the cast and the crew and the executives and say, hey, real quick, we're planning ahead on the next couple of seasons. Who the fuck fucked each other here? Just tell us now, because we are going to find out. Like, did Schwartz just decide, like, listen, my boy Sandoval's been having a hard season. I was gonna take this to the grave, but I guess I'll head it out. I tried to make out with Scheana. Yeah. How is this just coming out now? And it scares the hell out of me because I'm like, what don't we know? What don't we know? Who has Ken made out with? I tried to make out with Ariana in the jacuzzi. I can't believe I did that, Lisa. Please forgive me. Like, what is, like, was Lisa like, Nick Lane, we were putting together Wolf in beautiful Tahoe, and it's such a sexy environment, the sexiest restaurant to work at, and it was just so passionate. I had to grab Nick Lane, and we just started making out. It was so sexual. I'm just so scared. Like, how we've sat on that? Like, Scheana will tell us information about everything, but she sat on that? Was that like a, in case of emergency, break the glass and tell this? I would, and this Max Boyens. This, we find out that Katie potentially did the hippity dippity with Max Boyens. And I want to remind you, Max used to be a cast member for one season. It didn't go well. But this Max now has thrown down with so many of the Vanderpump Rules. I mean, this guy is a undercover legend. Remember Dana Cathan, who was on that one season? They were hooking up. And then remember Kristen Doute and Max Boyens hooked up. Scheana, of course, also enjoyed Max Boyens. Remember? Bought him the Apple Watch. Obviously, he got the Apple Watch in exchange for being able to track him on Apple products, which we find out that Scheana has the location set for 56 people. I will say I've offered Scheana my location, and she doesn't want it. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, are you sure? I mean, I don't, who knows? I don't, no, I'm good. Brock's like, I don't know, take it. I don't want your location, Ryan, really? That, I mean, so much little pieces of insanity that we'll get into. But the Max Boyens of it all, are we just like, Katie Maloney, what the? And Kate, by the way, this is also hysterical of the discourse around this of like, how dare Katie? Really? It's back on the woman again? Wait, we're not like, how dare Schwartz? I'm telling you, Schwartz just comes off better on television. He's a fun hang. So we forgive him so much more. But like, Katie is like, how long have they been divorced now? It's been a couple of years on top of the separation. And like, how many times did Schwartz, like, I don't know, make out cheat, hook up cheat? It wasn't just the Scheana one. It was like multiple instances. Remember that, was it the trip to Cabo or something? Remember when he got hammered and then he went on? Like, there were a slew of instances that Katie actually had to stand up for herself for. And also the after show, I'm telling you, you're going to be enraged because even Sandoval's like, dude, it's kind of like, I think Katie threw herself at Max, dude. I just love that when it's positioned as like, Max couldn't help it, man. Like he tried to escape, but Katie was just so domineering. Like Max literally went to Katie's place, and then it was like she gave him a full glass of scotch. Like, oh no! Like I just love how it's positioned. It's so insane. Also, congratulations goes out to Ariana Madix. She was named as the new host for Love Island, which I hate this. I don't really, I'm sorry. I don't brag about myself a lot. I always make fun of myself. In fact, I feel comfortable making fun of all of these people because I say always that I'm the number one dork. Then I'll make fun of everybody else. But I said this multiple times last year that I think Ariana would be an excellent host and she would end up hosting Love Island one day. I said it multiple times and it came true. Now, Sarah Hyland from Modern Family was the initial host for Love Island for 2 seasons, the USA version. I became a fan of the UK version a couple of seasons ago, and it's a time commitment, but it's really fantastic. Sarah Hyland, unfortunately, I think has another shoot that she was doing within that time frame, so couldn't do this season. And Ariana had already done like a guest hosting thing on Love Island. So I thought, this is exactly what you need to do. Is that Ariana just and for me, for you out there, what you do through times of trouble is just keep your head down and just work. People are gonna throw shit at you. People are gonna levy insults at you. Just keep your head down and work. Do the work. And people are going to hate you regardless. You know, it's like, but that's all Ariana's doing. Ariana's not in the Instagram stories going like, fuck Lala. No, she's just working. Like, I think that's the only thing, you know, just do the work. And she is doing the work. So I am so proud of that fact is that she's not getting caught up in some of this bullshit. Like, they're trying to bring her into it right and left. And she's been really, I mean, like, I don't think I could be nearly as strong or patient with some of the shit that I'm reading and seeing out there. But yeah, just keep your head down, man. You got a $1.6 million house. You finally did that. You get to finally move out. You got Broadway. What a dream. And now you get to do a hosting thing. Now everybody says, well, does this mean she's off Vanderpump Rules season 12? I will say, now remember, Love Island is an NBC Universal production as well. So this is within the same family as Bravo. It's all connected. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying from a business standpoint of somebody that's read the trades since I was a kid, is that I think there is a world in which that there would be I don't know. And I don't like, I have no information on this at all, but I would also imagine since it's NBC Universal, there's a sweetening of the pot. Like if you're the host over here at Love Island, you're amazing. Could we then get you to sign up for season 12 of Vanderpump Rules? But at the same time, I don't know if Vanderpump Rules season 12, I don't know if Ariana needs that. I think at a certain point, it is, but I love that I say like, hey, big thought here. Maybe the environment's toxic. Has anybody ever thought about that? Has anybody stopped to think that maybe this isn't good for anybody's overall mental health? But at the same time, it's a paycheck. It is a paycheck. You just have to put up with all the bullshit surrounding that paycheck. And I guess at the end of the day, when you're trying to retire someday, it probably makes everything a little bit better. But it's just a tornado of negativity all the time. Every Tuesday night, it's like something new, but so many funny moments in this as well, which we'll get into. I want to thank Juliana Carosa, who is back to taking notes on Vanderpump Rules. She started this week, and oh my God, she is just incredible. I was going over her notes while I was watching it for a third time. And I love her so much. So thank you, Juliana Carosa. She was doing the Beverly Hills notes. And that ended. And so she asked to do Vanderpump Rules. And I was like, listen, if you want that kind of misery, but she's always amazing. So thank you, Juliana. And thank you to you guys for coming here. Let's have fun with this today. And reminder, come back on Friday for the Valley, which is actually fun. I was at the Jackson Saloon and I was talking to Doute and I said, it is funny covering the Valley because you're only on that first episode. And even though it's like, the Valley's already relatively dark and toxic, it is more fun to recap because I don't have the insane amount of negative feelings that I do for Vanderpump Rules yet for the Valley. I'm sure we'll get there by episode 4. I mean, there's already some really ridiculous things, but it almost seems like a fun little Disney TV show, like, woo, this is all sweet and fun and it's in the Valley. Bright and sunny, instead of the misery of Tom Sandoval doing breath work in his living room and feeding Maya 500 laxative pills and hair coloring. What the fuck is that? Can we call the ASPCA? My God, are we still going to argue that this man is not thinking about himself 24/7? I'm sorry, dude. That was obviously a mistake, man. Maya needed to lose weight too, dude. Like poor Maya, anytime I see the dog now in the show, I'm literally like, is this dog running out to shit somewhere? Like the dog is just like, what is going on, man? Why are you leaving hair coloring all around? You're a grown man. I almost ate one of your makeup sticks. So help me God. Okay, this is the description the cable company gives us. The episode titled is called Kiss Kiss Revenge Bang. So obviously I'll play on the movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I love that movie with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Oh, so good. This is Kiss Kiss Revenge Bang. Obviously Katie Maloney and Max Boyens potentially, and then Kiss Kiss, the Scheana and Schwartz. And this is the description. Schwartz makes a startling revelation to Lala about a past hookup that sends Katie spiraling. Was Katie spiraling? Katie seemed pretty chill about it. Like spiraling? Katie was like, well, I should be more shocked, but I guess I'm not. DJ James Kennedy hosts a DJ night at Hotel Ziggy. Ariana and Katie encounter new issues in opening their sandwich shop, and Brock drops a bombshell about a recent liaison. And then we get the previously on Vanderpump Rules. We have a scene with Ariana and Katie talking about Tom wanting to buy her out. And Katie's like, if he has that money, go buy something else. And then in that scene with Schwartz and Joe, very quickly becoming one of my favorite characters in reality television. And we'll talk about Joe because I have not really complicated feelings. I do have to say, I feel bad about the Hotel Ziggy and her being picked on. But I also say at the end of the day, and I've said this now multiple times, a lot of this falls on Schwartz, man. Schwartz should not put her in this lion's den. This is a pit of vipers. Every one of these cast members at one point, including Ariana, has been a pit of vipers. Like, that is just how it is. Like, so Joe knows what she has gone into. And also, Joe did what she did. Joe pretended she was friends with Katie, ended up hooking up with Schwartz. That's like, whatever. But then on top of it, she knew full damn well what was going on with the artist formerly known as Raquel and Sandoval. They were literally going on double dates. And I'm sorry, keep lying all you want. Schwartz, Joe, keep lying all you want, but you knew, period. And for you to play both sides, Joe, that's why you're not going to get like this welcome introduction. You probably wouldn't have gotten like a big open arm welcome anyways, because you're a newbie. But I'm sorry. Yes. And it sucks. ADHD sucks. I have it myself. I understand that. But yes, your behavior is bizarre. I'm sure you've been told that your entire life. And hopefully you can lean into that, as it seems like you have, and you have your tribe of people. But don't play both sides of the fence. Don't do spooky behavior and then expect to be loved by everybody. I mean, listen, you only seem to want to be loved by one person, Schwartz, and he's given you what he can. He's given you what he can. Anyways, we have that scene with Schwartz. He's like, by the way, everyone in my life, whenever I bring you around, I say, and Joe's like, you'll be like, oh, is this my sister? And Schwartz is like, that's really weird because some people know that we've had sex. And then Joe's like, pull my finger. And then, of course, we had the Allie and Joe scene last week. Now, Allie plays it right. Allie might thinks Joe's a little weird, but also says, hey, I want to be inclusive, and Allie's new to the group as well. I love how Allie comes about this, but Allie's like, yeah, man, I'm friends with Ariana. I'm friends with Katie. I want you to feel welcome in this group. And then in that scene last week where Sandoval cried in his closet with the door open, even though he could have shut it, but he wanted the camera to see, Schwartz is like, you're down bad, brother. You're at the tail end of this. Dude, no, that is not even remotely accurate, dude. You have no idea what kind of interviews I'm going to give after we wrap filming. I'm going to do the New York Times. I'm going to do the Nick File. So no, dude, this is not even remotely close to being over. We have the scene with DJ James Kennedy to Sandoval in Tahoe where he's like, hey, you don't think if you were smart enough, you could have ended things with Ariana and actually made things work out? And Sandoval's just looking at him like, what? What are you saying, dude? I mean, that would have been another, like, Sandoval has all of these opportunities just like served him on a silver platter. It would have been a literal thing of all Sandoval had to say in that moment of like, I'm just a coward in some ways. And I'm so scared. And I did something really bad and I'm human and I don't know. It's just the fight in him to still defend something that is kind of indefensible and then to keep doubling and tripling down. And in a sense, it's working. Like, production really has given this man all of the tools and opportunities. And like I said yesterday, it seems like they're bringing more people on, or maybe I said this on the Patreon today. It seems like they're bringing all of these people on to go against Ariana. It's like a who's who of rogue villains, like a rogues gallery of villains to come in and kind of support Sandoval and kind of like in subtle ways talk shit about Ariana. It's funny. It's like they are really backing Sandoval in so many ways. And I think I just really ask you yourselves what you would do in that situation. Lala, of course, on that fight on the boats is like, yo, dude, you have still yet to say it was fucked up for me to say that you needed to be real while I was fucking my girl's best friend. And Sandoval like, because it was fucking 6 years of it, Lala. And then Scheana to Sandoval in that scene last week at the bar. And Scheana actually made a point and says, if you could just take your ego out, and Sandoval with, the ombre nail polish was like, it's not an ego thing, dude. And then we got the ultimate villain, Jax Taylor, back at the very end of Vanderpump Rules last week. And he's like, you don't think you need to humble yourself a little bit? You are literally a disgrace, brother. And then Schwartz to Sandoval goes, you need a little love. It's time to heal. And that is where we start with the montage. These are the best days of our lives. And we start the song plays. It's like, let's go. Yeah, easy like that. When I put down, don't play it round, put it down. I never stress. Never settle for less. Never settle for less. Now I'm gonna take it all. A jet flies overhead DJ James Kennedy's domicile in Burbank. DJ James Kennedy is nosing around Allie's closet with Hippie the dog helping him. And James is like, sit. Good boy, Hippie. Okay. Do you think Mama's gonna look good in this? He's literally putting together Allie's outfit. He's like Kanye West used to do for Kim Kardashian. And Allie's like, are you picking out my clothes? Yes, me and Hippie are picking clothes out for you. Hey, mister, don't you hop on her, Hippie. Take a seat. Sit. And Allie's like, that's cute. I like this. And James is like, what about this? A little Barbie moment. He's holding up a white dress and a pink purse. And Allie in a talking head's like, listen, I'm not a shopper. So James, he picks out my clothes. He steams my dresses for me. This is very Tom Sandoval. I'm now watching for warning, red flags for the future. This seems like Tom Sandoval's like, dude, if I'm dressing like a Star Wars Jedi, I'm going to need you to dress like Princess Leia, dude. James is like, hey, who did you invite tonight for my DJ gig at Hotel Ziggy? Did you end up inviting Joe? I did. Really? That's good. From what I've seen of her, in person, she seems very nice. She's a little bit, she says some weird stuff sometimes. And Allie's like, yeah, but she's sweet. I'm not trying to be besties with her. I'm not going to, share my secrets with her. Which, Allie, what are those secrets? Will you tell us? But she's like, I want to still have her feel comfortable coming to things, with Schwartz. This is a great attitude to have, Allie. I love it. James in a talking head's like, tonight, I'm DJing at Hotel Ziggy. It's going to be the Woodstock of this generation on Sunset Boulevard. There's no you can come and you cannot come. Everyone is always invited to my parties. I will show up, DJ crew, DJ equipment, and a crowd, and you will have the best business your place has seen in a long time. Guaranteed. Or your money back. I think DJ James Kennedy is going to end up selling term life insurance. Have you ever thought about the loss of a loved one? Well, with Fidelity Term Life Insurance, you no longer have to worry. Allie goes, yeah, I think the last time we were there was when I had that awkward first meetup with Raquel. So that was last season, was at Hotel Ziggy as well. Hotel Ziggy, obviously, just a very, very haunted place itself now. We get a flashback to 1 year ago. We actually see the artist formerly known as Raquel. Rachel goes rogue. We see her. They actually can use her image because she signed the contract. And we flash back to that scene where DJ James Kennedy is like, why is Raquel fucking pulling Allie aside for a conversation? Oh, right there, Lala. And Allie to Raquel's like, I appreciate your guys' relationship because he would have been completely different if he didn't have you. And you can tell Raquel was like, what the fuck? And James is like, a lot's changed since then. That's for damn sure. And Allie's like, everything's changed since then. And Hippie's like, and DJ James Kennedy's like, literally everything. And then we zoom on over to Studio City, over to Ariana and Tom's dungeon in Valley Village. And Sandoval has his white noise machine, it's in front of his bedroom door. And, our favorite Billy Lee, our resident kiss ass Billy Lee walks in the room and goes, hi. And Sandoval's like, yo, dude, what's up? How's it going? It's clean in here. Yeah, ish. Yeah. Oh, every time I come or go from your house, I get so fucking nervous. Why? Because Ariana, is she coming to Hotel Ziggy? I don't know, dude. I mean, James is DJing there, so I would imagine that he invited her. And Billy Lee's like, I'm going to bring my girl T. What I love, this is the girl that at the weirdo pool party, the Boogie Nights pool party last episode. Billy Lee's like, what about my friend T, huh? Have you ever, listen, I know you're trying to be supportive of your friend Tom Sandoval, I guess, whatever. Even if you're trying to be supportive, the shit watching him do in the pool party with those two random girls, all that shit, and you're still like, hey, this is my friend T. She's down to hook up with you. I'm like, why would you ever put your friend in this? In this, that's just doesn't feel like good friend. Tom has not been exhibiting anything, even on a casual level, that I would be like, who I should hook Tom up with? Who's good? Who would be good with Tom right now? If my friend was like, listen, would you ever date Tom Sandoval? And I'd be like, right now, after all this? Yeah, because you can't be like, super good guy, amazing. Like, what do you like? You just said, like, do you like karaoke music? Like, what would you say to get your friend to go along? But I just love it. It's like, why are you pimping out your friend T? And Sandoval's like, oh yeah, dude. Okay, cool. And we flash back to 6 days earlier at Tom's swinging single pool party, and Billy Lee at the pool is like, yeah, if he's so fucking evil, then why are you continuing to live here across the hall? And the pool girls giggle. Like, Billy Lee, this is why you should be scared of Ariana, because you shit talk her. Why would she? This is what, like, you shit talk her. Like, I also don't still, you're never going to get me to understand of like, Tom did the bad deed. Maybe he should leave for a while and be like, totally get it, dude. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm going to go crash at Schwartz's for like a couple months. Like, just, like it's just weird. But the onus obviously falls on Ariana because she's a woman. Santa was like in the pool. He's like, sorry, we're talking about my roommate. It's not a big deal, dude. It's just my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, it was a short relationship. It was like 10 years, but bump. Hey, tip your waiters out there, everybody. Billy Lee in this scene is like, not that you need to jump into another relationship. It's literally just very casual. And Santa was like, I mean, I did just wash my sheets. So, and then Billy Lee's like, this isn't funny. Like, what? It's not, there's not like, Billy Lee is allegedly a comedian, like a stand-up. Like, this isn't funny. Like, I washed my sheets. Like, hey, thanks for offering up your friend for sex. Tell her I washed my sheets. And Billy's like, amazing, Tom. Amazing. Hey, is this Richard Pryor? We got a Dave Chappelle in our midst. Billy is like, only if you don't like live with your ex-girlfriend and you could have people over. And Santa was like, everybody has roommates, dude. Come on, it's LA. And Billy Lee's like, I think there's like living with your mom and then like living with your ex-girlfriend. And Santa was like, which one is worse, do you think? And Billy Lee's like, definitely ex-girlfriend. And Sandoval chuckles. It's good old-fashioned fun. Sandoval's like, well, look, dude, I don't know what's going on with Ariana, but I love this house. It's a great house. I like that he's talking about it like Steve Martin at the beginning of Father of the Bride, of like, I love this house. I raised my family in this house, and now my daughter's going to get married in the backyard. He's talking about it like it's all like, just like, do like, I just so weird. It's like, I love this house, dude. I fuck Raquel for the first time in the driveway of this house. So many magical moments. So many mushrooms have been done in this house. But anyway, Sandoval's like, dude, I offered like the ball's in Ariana's court, dude. Sandoval in a talking head says, about 2 months ago, I had my lawyers draft a letter of intent to buy Ariana out of the house for top market value. Sandoval to Billy Lee goes, she just has to respond to an email like, so we just have some sort of plan of action. Sandoval in the talking head says, it's been made very, very clear to her that she will get a check for the entire amount and be able to walk away free and clear. And I haven't heard anything back. Now, this sounds like pretty good, right? Go watch the after show. Ariana gets more into this as well. And so hopefully we'll get to that. I can explain this. Also, Tom can say whatever he wants. Like, Tom will be able to, like, he can literally, like, I've offered her double the price. And we're just, guys, this isn't the case. Billy Lee goes, can't you knock on her fucking door? Maybe slide a note under there? Oh, what, Billy Lee? Along with the potato chips you made a big joke out of with those 2 random girls last week? I threw some potato chips under the door. Could I have her locked in a bedroom? We breeze down the hall to Ariana's room where she's putting on makeup and she's FaceTiming with Tom's assistant, Anne. And Anne's like, hi. And Ariana's like, hi. Oh my God, I'm getting ready for Taylor Swift. And, I think Anne deserves a break. Taylor Swift is always good. I mean, in fact, I wish Taylor Swift, if we knew she was watching Vanderpump Rules, I would love if she saw Anne in the audience. It's like, Taylor's like, the Swifties are with you, Anne. Protect yourself. Anyways, Ariana's calling, going like, listen, I want to know what his deal is. Is he bogarting downstairs? Because I'm going to go down there. And then, it's just like I'm on the verge of like a full burnout. So I actually need an assistant. So I was going to ask you if you knew anybody. And Anne's like, and she puts her face right up to the FaceTime camera. And she's like, Ariana, can I be in the running, please? Like, oh my God, Ariana, please. And Ariana's like, oh, of course you can. Ariana in a talking head kind of explains, listen, Anna's sweet, deserves much better than my ex-boyfriend. I don't know if I can be the one to do it, but somebody needs to save Anne. # save Anne. And Ariana tells Anne, hey, it's like, I don't want him, I don't want him to get all pissed and stuff or be like, you're poaching my assistant, And Anne's like, but I want to work for you for so bad, please. please. Like I felt like tears were going to be involved, like the snotty crying, like, please release me. I need release, please. Okay, now, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, that's a little weird. I mean, this is a little bit of a story arc, so I don't know there's like certain like real stuff, and then there's certain things of like, oh, that'll fit with a little storyline. And obviously, Anne doesn't love working for Tom, but it's a gig. Like, if you're an actor, it's a gig economy. Like, this is actually a day-to-day job. We head on over to Creation Organics, where Schwartz is meeting with Lala, and Schwartz is like, Lala, hi. I got a theory about Schwartz. Should I tell you guys now? Okay. I thought this since like the pool party at DJ James Kennedy. Schwartz seems like there's a lot of moments of like overly and subtle flirtation with Lala, but it's always positioned as a joke. It would be like, "Oh, I mean, I could put my dick in you," and she'll be like, gross. Oh, I know it's gross. It's totally gross. That's why it's a joke. Don't you even know? But I could make out with you. I don't want to do that. Well, that's why it would be a joke though. So I just like, of course not. I'm just so cute and like cuddly and I have plants. Like there seems to be a lot of weird, and that's what I'm sorry, after this episode, I'm like, shit, probably Lala and Schwartz have already made up and they're just saving it for season 14. Like, it's just like, but there is these little moments, and I know I'm just watching too hard. Like, I think my brain's eating itself. Like the cast, their brains are already eaten away. But there's these little jokes, and like, it just always seems like this subtle flirtation with I think Schwartz is good at. Like he subtly flirts with everybody, and he's really charming and good at it. But he's like, oh shucks, I'm just a teddy bear. I'm Teddy Ruxpin. I'm Schwartz Ruxpin. What are you talking about? Anyways, Schwartz, they're at this, organic smoothie shop, and Schwartz explains to sober Lala, he's like, by the way, I'm in the midst of a sober bender right now. 3 days. We're going to do some health syringes. Is that offensive in any way to tell somebody sober that they're on a sober bender? I've got a real issue. I'm on a sober bender, man. I mean, put me away in like a day spa because it is bad right now. So they're trying out, these things and like dates. And Lala's like, oh, it looks like dates. I bet I'm going to shit my brains out. And Schwartz is like, is this a date? And Lala laughs. No, my God, just dates. It's not a date. Just kidding. I'm kidding. That's not me doing a bit. That's the actual dialogue. This is what I'm talking about. He puts these just little jokes in there, just little feelers. Like, if Lala's down on herself one time and Pig's like, well, you know what? What if I did kiss you? I'd be like, I don't know. You'd have to make the first move, but I wouldn't say no, right? I'm in the midst of a sober bender, so I'm not making the best decisions right now. They take this purchase to the checkout, and they're like, okay, everything's good. They're trying these health syringes, and Schwartz is like, okay, like, oh my God, these are like Jello shots across the street from Tom Tom with me, which are my favorite. Is that like high tops he's talking about? Anyway, Schwartz is like, should we just do do it? And then they intertwine arms and suck on the syringes. I'm sorry, this is erotic. This is full on erotic at this point. And Schwartz is like, it was more liquidy than I thought it would be. And Lala's like, you're a rookie, yo. You just squirted on me. When I feel awkward, I make sex jokes or I talk about my vagina. And little Lala's like, you rang? What up, bitch? Yeah, you talk about me. Woo. And but like I'm saying, Lala kind of flirts back too. Lala laughing goes like, oh, Lala goes, have you had sober sex ever in your life? And George is like, of course. When I'm in a relationship, I love sober sex. I was talking about this earlier. Why were you talking about this earlier? He goes, like, of course, moderation is king or queen. I'm into the woman's movement, but like, I like the occasional bender sometimes with, it's so dumb. But I do like the occasional bender sometimes with drug and alcohol. Sometimes I do wish Celebrity Rehab was still a thing with Dr. Drew. I mean, it was really a horrific show looking back on it. And I was like watching it every week, just like, oh my God, it's my favorite show. And now I realize how dark that is. But sometimes when like Schwartz is like, sometimes I just love to have sex on a real bender with drugs and alcohol. But he says it in such a cute way where I'm like, come here, let me give you a noogie, you little hardcore sobriety guy. He's like, but sometimes I do hardcore sobriety, like shots of vitamin B, working out, meditation, reading books, any John Grisham book, doing this. I like both. But really, Lala, it's all about moderation. But I like to fall apart every once in a while, in a good way. and in a bad way. That's fucking nuts. He said it so cute. Like he said it like in a good way and a bad way. And I'm like, that's horrific. He's like, sometimes people can't track me down for 3 days. I've never given Scheana my location. I will literally just be lost. Sometimes I'll go under a freeway underpass and I'll just do weird things to myself. I don't know. Anyways, what are these syringes? And Lala's like, yeah. And Schwartz is like, hey, anyways, are you going to Ziggy? We just get off that topic of like, to me, I was like, let's lean in. And maybe that's the older I get where I'm like, maybe just more conversation about what does the fully falling apart mean? Like, what does that look like for you? Sometimes I won't even water my plants for weeks. Anyways, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go. Is Sandoval coming? He's like, yeah. And Schwartz is like, well, we saw Jax at Tom Tom. Oh, yeah, Jax, Tom. It's not like they hate each other. It's just that they haven't seen each other in like how long? Years? Schwartz, don't rewrite history. Jax fully did hate Tom Sandoval. Like, let's not do that. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, there is this curly cue in my hair. I just showered and there's this hair. I look like Doute at the Beverly Hills reunion. I didn't even it's like Christopher Reeve / Doute. I can't, every time I push this hair back, it just falls right back into my forehead. So I swear to God, it's not styled like that because I don't style my hair at all. Because sometimes I fall apart and then I just, in a bad way. Anyways, we flash back to the Sir Alley in 2019, that holy territory. And Santa's like, that's the kind of friends you want, ones that never question you, agree with you all the time. And that's what you can have, Jax. And Jax is like, the only person I'm having a problem with is you, brother. I also want to mention that at the end of the Valley episode 1 from last week, Jax is literally in the kitchen talking about Kristen fucking some dude on the couch over there. And he's like, is that the kind of friends you want, Kristen? I give you hard love. That's the kind of friend I am. This is just a pit of hypocrites. It's just hypocrites. Jax is probably just remembering what Tom said in that scene, is now parroting him back to yell at Kristen. Anyway, Schwartz is like, anyway, he powered through, persevered, yada, yada. Man, they are loving Seinfeld lately. We get a flashback to last evening at Tom Tom where Jax is like, I don't really have anything else to say about it anymore. I think we kind of, and Schwartz is like, that's how I feel too. I think we've all said it, I want the best for you. And Santa was like, likewise, dude, likewise. Here, come on, I'll give you a hug. You don't got anything, do you? Am I going to get VD from this hug? I'm kidding, brother. Bring it in, bring it in. And Schwartz is like, it was amazing, Lala. She's like, good. Yeah, I think I have post-Sandoval brain fog. It's probably that, or it could be the benders and like the extreme amounts of Molly and mushrooms, but let's blame it on Sandoval. When I see what Tom did compared to what we've all done, am I right? Am I right? Can I get an amen? I think everybody's cheated in some way, right? And Lala's like, yeah, of course. Well, everyone's cheated. We've all cheated. Like, everyone's done stupid shit, cheated, right? I was a makeout slut. I made out with Scheana like 12 years ago in Vegas. Like, this is so weird. Like, this, obviously, you're going to do a scene with Lala. That's scheduled. You have a crew show up. And so I'm wondering, did he already tip production off that this was going to be a revelation? And why now? Why did he do this now? Like, I'm so curious. Like, this just something seems amiss in the bringing of this up because Schwartz is pretty comfortable with lying. So why do a revelation when you don't have to? Why do that? And by the way, Schwartz very much is a makeout slut. I mean, very much is a makeout slut. Also, yeah, like, listen. And also, it's like almost positioned like Scheana's like one of the only people he cheated on Katie with. And that's also not, anyways. Schwartz is like, because Lala's like, what? And little Lala's like, what you fucking talking about? And Schwartz is like, nobody knows that. No one knows that? Yeah, I mean, it was so long ago. It was like the most innocuous thing ever. But like, I'm just saying, we've all done it. Where was this Schwartz at the reunion? Where was this speech? Like, when your brother is getting like, calm down, poo-poo head, one with a mustache. Oh, grow up, man. Oh, the crocodile tears. You could have shouted out, I met out with Scheana in Vegas. And Brock's like, what the fuck are you talking about, brother? What? Like, why now? Why now of all times? And it's a slow chipping away, right? This slow chipping away. We see this in politics a lot. This slow chipping away of any kind of like, it's almost inching the line back on what any kind of morality should be. And everybody makes up their own morality. Everybody obviously makes mistakes, but it's so funny is that really by the end of the season, it's going to be like, listen, if you don't get cheated on, it's not a good relationship. That's always been my motto. It is this slow chipping away at what we should expect out of relationships. Like, it's just like we're just blurring those lines continually again and again, because it wasn't like Schwartz did it once and then he learned from that. Like, no, it was like repeated. But also, I think the other thing is, I mean, it is a creepy story when you think about it, because Scheana's like, yeah, he just came up, he pulled me to the side and just like tried to lay one on me. And it's really weird. But Sheena's like a good time girl, she was like laughed it off. But this was different. This was a full blown relationship that people were hiding. There was like feelings, alleged feelings involved. I mean, they went to great lengths to hide this. I mean, it was different than just hey, we're at like the circus in Vegas, and I'm feeling a little randy and let's have like a 5-second moment. It's different. And so it's weird when you're getting people to agree, like, isn't that right, Lala? Isn't that right? Anyways, Lala's in disbelief and she's like, you made out with Scheana? When? He's like, I don't know, but it was somewhere in Vegas. That's all I know. And she's like, pre-Katie? Well, me and Katie were dating, but it was like a rocky moment. Like the entirety of your relationship? Like, so if it's a rocky moment, that's like a green light means go. Lala seems speechless. And I will say, I think Lala is continually making horrible judgment calls. But the one thing I do agree with her, I don't know if this is real or not, but it does seem like she is literally like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are these people? Like, she's almost feels like she's waking up, but I still think she's making horrible judgment calls. And I'm telling you, she just does it with such a confidence that it's like Schwartz pushing that line back, like blurring the lines. Lala does the same thing. She says it with such force and authority that you're like, well, maybe. And then you realize, what the fuck are you talking about? You change your opinion like, I change my old Navy jeans, like, well, not actually very often, but you know what I'm saying? It just changes it a lot. Schwartz in a talking head's like, okay, false equivalency. I know, but I just wanted to put it out there to really confuse the shit out of Lala and help my brother Sandoval. Let the record show, just as a reminder, we're all human. We all do dumb shit sometimes, right? And this is the summer of forgiveness. Yeah. Schwartz in the scene goes, well, it just popped in my head the other day. Sometime late last year, we were at a party like around the holidays, and she's like, do you remember when we made out? And I was like, we did make out, right? We kind of made out? And I was like, so Scheana has dabbled in the group? I wouldn't say that. Maybe microdose. Huh? And Lala's like, I want to be straight up with you, Schwartz. Hit me with it, Lala. I'm fucking over people lying in my face. And Schwartz is like, yeah. Schwartz is also, the subtext is like, wrong group, right? Your dumb luck. At least you're getting paid well. I hope the podcast is going well. Lala on a talking head says, Scheana and I have gotten extremely close. We've become each other's vault, and it just seems strange to me that at no point in time was she like, girl, I got to tell you something. I got to spill some tea. Like, what? Little Lala's like, I trusted Scheana. What the fuck? Why didn't she tell me any of this shit? Sheena's just nonstop talking about John Mayer. It's like, Lala's like, I've heard the John Mayer story a baker's dozen times. I've never once heard about Schwartz. And that's another thing too. I will say this in Sheena's defense is like, she will like spill all of this shit, but this, she kind of kept close to the vest. So she does protect certain people. Yeah, Lala's like, does Katie know? And Schwartz is like, no, I've never told Katie the honest truth about anything. He goes, I don't know if I told Katie. In Lala's mouth, Schwartz, you knew if you told you, Schwartz, stop being a cutie pie. You know you didn't tell Katie, you knucklehead. Schwartz is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Lala's like, I am so fucking dead. And Schwartz puts his head in his hands like, oh shit. Oh, I did it again. Oh, Schwartz. Oh, you did it again, brother. Oh, there goes my sober bender. Okay, so it is later that day and we're at Lala's apartment in West Hollywood. Katie comes on over there and they're talking about dogs, whatever. And Lala's like, well, I'm going to pop a Starla. Mama don't have her baby tonight. I have something to tell you. And Katie's like, well, in that case, I better actually have a strong drink with alcohol. And Lala's like, you may care or you may not care. But I was like, what? And Katie's like, what? Well, I had smoothies at Creation with Schwartzy, and he drops on me that a few years ago, Scheana and I made out in Vegas. And Katie Katie's already frowning, but she frowns deeper. And Katie's like, what? What? And Katie in the talking head goes, what the actual fuck? Are you kidding me? I just have so many questions. Like, when was this? And where exactly was this? And Was this the time that Schwartz said he went to Vegas and made out with one of Scheana's friends? And was it actually, in fact, Scheana? We flash back to 2013. We see these little young lovebirds in the back of the Sur Alley. And Katie's like, Scheana said that you made out with someone. And Schwartz is like, that is not bullshit. That's true. And Katie just looks hurt. Katie has been right all along, man. And I will say it's wild. If that, so that had to have been Scheana, or Schwartz made out with multiple girls in Vegas that time. And that's even darker because Scheana actually used that against Katie that season when that was revealed, that Scheana was the one that revealed Schwartz made out with somebody in Vegas. But Scheana failed to mention that it was her. This is so dark. The web of lies. It truly has been going on since the beginning of time. The Bible has shit about Vanderpump Rules in it. It's like, thou will meet a group of toxic individuals on the mount. They will disobey all of the commandments. It will be led by a lady with a British accent and a man that looks like he has a dog attached to him like a puppet. Can you believe the Bible mentioned me? I can't believe that. So Katie now in the talking head goes, there are just so many lies in this group. It's hard to keep track. That's what I'm saying. This is every episode, the floor must just feel like it drops out to the fact where they're just in permanent free fall, this cast. Their nerves have to be shot. They probably wouldn't feel any real emotion anymore with anything. It's gonna be hard to get any kind of surprise reaction out of this cast because they've done everything to everybody. There is no loyalty. Pit of vipers. Anyways, Katie's like, was I there? And Lala's like, I don't think you were there. And Katie's like, I can't think of a time he was in Vegas with Scheana and I wasn't there. And Lala's like, well, you're going to have to ask him because I wasn't around at that time. And Katie's like, did you ask Scheana? And Lala's like, well, I haven't seen Scheana. I wanted to talk to you about it first. That literally the subtext is, I'm collecting a check. I'm making moves. I always think about Lala now this season. You know that song, Teacher's Pet? What is that from Waiting for Guffman? Teacher's Pet. I always sing the song Producer's Pet when Lala comes in. Producer's Pet, I'm making moves. Producer's Pet. You just said, my girl Scheana, we fucking get down with each other. We are so close. I'm shocked she didn't tell me. Anywho, gonna go tell Katie first before I talk to my good friend Scheana. This is what I'm talking about. You can't be that good of friends. You literally are not talking to Scheana first. Lala on a talking head goes, well, I went back and forth whether I should talk to Scheana first or Katie first. And Lala in the kitchen goes, well, I don't love that they kept that for so long. And Katie's like, yeah. And Lala in the talking head goes, and I decided that I need to talk to Katie first. I don't want to give Scheana time to make this a pretty picture. What a good friend. Amazing. And then we have a song come in and goes, I'm on top of the world. Look out. Top of the world. And we are now at Hotel Ziggy, the haunted establishment on Sunset Boulevard. DJ James Kennedy arrives with Allie. He's getting greeted by patrons ready to party. He's like, what's up, mate? I'm here, ready to sling the ones and twos. Have you ever heard Britney Spears' Toxic? I'm going to mash it up with Bittersweet Symphony. Ho! Brock and Scheana come in next, and Sheena's like, it feels like I definitely go with this vibe. She's wearing this neon watercolor wavy print mini dress. And then Schwartz comes in with our favorite, Joe. It's me, Joe. And Schwartz is like, Joseph, what do you want? I'll do a shot. Yeah, pull my finger. And Schwartz is like, I don't know why I ask you. You get the same thing every time. Every time. I get a tequila. I love you, Schwartz. Schwartz to the bartender's like, doesn't matter what kind of tequila. Patron if you have it. And Brock's like, hey, gang, what's up, gang? And Joe turns around. Joe, by the way, is in a backward Tom-Tom's cap, just fully, Joe kind of looks like it could be an extra in that movie, The Sandlot, an updated version of hey, that's Joe. She likes to play baseball with the boys. Schwartz is like, look at you getting dressed up. And Sheena's, I guess, with her friend Madison, and she turns the conversation on her. And Sheena's like, well, this is very much the vibe, and I wanted to get a cute pic. And she makes these duck lips and holds up a peace sign. Sandoval comes in with Jeweler to the Stars, Kyle Chan. And Sandoval is wearing the white aloe baseball cap, which now we've seen on a couple times. But he's wearing this tan Miami Vice suit, little baggy everywhere. But then the guy turns around and the back is cut out of the jacket. Can we stop with fashion? Have we gone too far? It's just wear a normal jacket, man. No, dude, I gotta look weird, dude. I'm a rocker, dude. Come on. We don't need, come on. The back's out of the jacket. What? Just don't wear a jacket. I'm just over it. Anyways, Ariana walks in solo and she looks awesome. She's in this like purple zebra striped dress. Camera shows Sandoval checking her out, like, dude, what's up with that? I love the junk in the trunk, dude. And Scheana's like, oh my God, Ariana, you look so good. Can I? And Ariana spins. And Sandoval to Brock is like, Ariana looks great, dude. Yeah. Good dress for her. Ariana's got curves in all the right places, dude. Nice. He's like, Brock, I wanted to say something to Ariana tonight, but now I'm afraid to, but whatever. It's about the house and stuff. And Brock's like, I feel like the first thing you guys should try and do is figure out how to start a conversation. You know, whatever it is. You can talk about sports. I don't know. I think we'd all like to see you and her try to figure out how to talk. We're doing a show. And Santa was like, okay, dude. Well, I'm getting ghosted left and right over here. It's like the lies I try to keep telling her about Raquel are coming back to haunt me, dude. DJ James Kennedy is getting ready to start the show. He's like posing. Like, I think half of DJing is just posing for pictures. I've just seen DJ James Kennedy give like the double deuces. He's like, what's up? What's up, Ali? Get one of me in the headphones. Get one of me with a record up on my face. Get one of me spinning these wheels of doom that I play. And Schwartz walks up to the DJ stand. He's like, James, what's up, brew? God, I went from bro to brew. Like, I can't even keep up with the kid. What's up, brew? And James is like, what's up? And Schwartz is like, good. Joseph in the house. And James is like, what's up, Joe? How are you? You call her Joseph, Schwartz? Huh, yeah, I call her Joseph. And then Joe, in a monster voice, goes, Joseph. I mean, she really, she goes, Joseph. And Scheana is looking over at the exchange like, who is that monster? And she's whispering to her friend Madison. She's like, they're dating. They're totally dating. Oh my God. He is throwing the hot dog down there. Why are they acting like they're not dating? And Scheana and I talking and goes, right now, I don't really have a reason to like Joe. She like literally drove with Raquel to go meet Tom in Big Bear and then left Raquel with Sandoval in Big Bear. This is true. This did happen. Scheana, we get a flashback to 4 months earlier at the reunion, and Andy's like, did you go on double dates with Joe and Sandoval? And Schwartz is like, no, we did not. And Lala's like, you went to Big Bear. But this is the other thing, too. Like I said, like Schwartz, nice guy and stuff like that, but Schwartz is lying. Sandoval was lying. Like it, you know, I know you didn't want to say that in the moment, but that's what I'm saying. Things will come out. Like 5 years from now, he's like, okay, we were dating. we were double dating. I didn't want to say it at the time. Scheana and I talking heads like, it was just a little homie hang. Like, come on, bitch. You knew. I love homie hang. What up? Let's do a homie hang. Sheena's back at Ziggy's to Joe. And Sheena's like, can I ask why you're covering the braid with the hat? And Joe's like, no, I'm sweaty. I'm sweaty, Joe. I'm very sweaty all the time. So I feel that, brother. And Sheena's like, okay, well, just put it in a ponytail, but the braids, don't cover them with the hat. That's all I'm saying. Like, show off your work. They are kind of like, it is a little bit like Stephen King's Carrie. Like, they're all going to laugh at me. Ah! I do feel at one point, like, you know, they're going to like dump a bucket of like red, like nail polish all over Joe. And they're going to find she has telekinetic powers. She's going to be like, and then like, she'll like shut all the doors with her brainwaves. And it'll be like, boom, boom. And then like Scheana will fly up against a door and then she'll put a hand that way. And the only person she won't touch is like Schwartz. I love Schwartz. Won't touch him with my telekinesis. Joe. But it is weird. It's like they are kind of like, hey, what are you doing? And they're it almost like a little pushing, like, take off the hat, do it, take off the hat. And she's like, just put in a ponytail, but the braids don't come on, show off your work. And they take her hat off and they put it on the bar. And then Joe grabs at Madison. She's like, and he like jokingly shakes her, like, and reaches for her hat and puts it back on. Very physical. I mean, she would be good in like theater. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of movement. Madison is like, I love you, but you can't have it. And Joe's like, you gotta throw it in the pool, aren't you? And she's like, take the hat off. I'm gonna bully you. And then Scheana gets that emo screamo voice. She's like, take the fucking hat off. Take it off. And Joel points at Scheana and laughs overzealously. She's like, and she pulls her hat on tighter, like, you ain't taking my hat. You ain't taking my hat, Sheener. Joe in a talking head, very calmly, arms crossed. He's like, it's comfortable. It looks good on me. Chill. Scheana goes, you don't need to wear a tom-tom hat. You're good. And Joe's laughing, goes, it was the only one I could find. Pull my finger. Yeah, she's like living out of Schwartz's place, as in Schwartz's closet. Joe in a talking head goes, I've gotten a lot of hate from the girls. It's like 100% bullying. And it's like not fun. It's horrible. Now, this is sad, right? It is. But this was to be expected. Did anybody think when they found out Joe was coming on, go, well, that'll be nice. It's going to be really nice scenes. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of kumbaya, really nice moments with the girls. No, I 100% expected this. And like, that's what I said. The onus falls on Schwartz for putting his friend in this situation. Like, you shouldn't have done this. You really shouldn't have done this to her. But at the same time, I think she wants it. I think she wants the attention. I think she likes it. I've talked to many people that are in her DMs and she'll like, she wants this. She likes this kind of attention. She does. I mean, she doesn't like this part of it, but she does like, interacting and stuff. And somebody was like, because I said, hold me closer, Tiny Joseph. And I had that picture. Joe has the first picture you search for on Google. She's like in like a lion's pose, like a roar. And I truly love to watch her, but she's like, this person was like, well, you blocked her. Yeah, to that person, I blocked her a long time ago before she was on the show. I blocked her once I found out she was doing fucking double dates with Rocky and Sandoval and Schwartz. That's when I blocked her. I was like, fuck her. Like, I'm sorry. I thought it was gross. You can try to like reframe the narrative and we should like, tiny violins everywhere. And I do have empathy and sympathy for her and, ADHD and stuff like that. It sucks. Like it does. It's something, it's a, and there, you can take medicine, you try things, very brave of her to come on in a way, but also it is a little bit self-serving because I do know she wanted this. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks to be bullied in any kind of form or fashion. And I think Scheana's pissed and Scheana does get into those kind of moments. And it'll be curious to see what Scheana says from this point on. And it'll be curious to see what Joe is like at the reunion. And I'm still thinking about that turtle she killed last week when she told the turtle story. Like, that turtle better show up to the reunion. Like, what did you do to me? You dropped me down a grate, Joe. I know you've had a tough season, but what about me? I've literally the last 15 years been in the sewers. Anyways, Scheana to Madison's like, if you're a hairstylist, like, sell your work, show your fucking hair. You have dope braids, show your braids. And Scheana's like, I don't know why you're always wearing a hat. And this is when Lala and Katie arrive. So, Katie and Lala arrive. Everybody's complimenting each other's outfits, boots. All right, let's have fun. And Sheena's letting everybody going like, listen, I am drinking tonight. All right. Katie in a talking head's like, oh, Scheana, you don't drink very often? Well, maybe because when you do, you make out with people like my boyfriend. So I wouldn't be doing that if I were her either. Now, Sandoval is, with Billy Lee and Joe and Billy Lee's friend T that she's trying to pawn off on Sandoval. And Sandoval's like, hey, guys, good to see you again. Have you guys ever heard of Burning Man? Yeah, all right. Sandoval to T is like, how you been, dude? And T's like, good, how about you? And Sandoval's like, chilling, dude. Chilling. I'm all right, dude. Yeah, anyways, I like your dress. She's like, thank you. It's new. And then Joe's like, I like your face, kiddo. You're doing great. And Sandoval's like, thanks, dude. I'll tell my guy you said that. They're the group of friends that think they're hysterically funny. They're like, oh my God, our banter's off the chain when it's not. It's like a group of people that think they're funny, but they're like, thanks. They'll tell my guy you said that. And that's actually kind of not funny because Sandoval actually does have a face guy. Sandoval does have a face guy that he works with. Anyways, Lala to the group is like, is that Joe? And Ariana's like, I'm that girl. I'm looking around trying to see what? And Lala's like, what? Anyways, Billy Lee to Sandoval is like, the girls behind you, every time they look over, they're just like mean mugging. Billy Lee, where do you think you are? You're in the jungle, baby. Like, you know exactly what, like, come on. Yes, of course they're mean mugging. Yes, what did you expect? And Katie's like, she's a rat girl. Katie goes, she's a rat girl. Joe in a cartoon voice is like, I don't know what to do. And she's just like tugging on the hat. And Scheana is like Should we be closer to James DJing so we don't feel like he's DJing to no one? Because everyone's by the bar and no one's by the DJ. And Billy Lee in their little groups like, Joe, why are you plugging your ears? Because Joe's like, no, 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 I can't hear, because I don't like it. I just yak, 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 yak. Joe in a talking head goes, the past year, these things that the girls have said about me. And while she's saying this, Katie, Allie, Lala, Ariana, and Scheana are posing for a photo. And Joe continues in a talking head, they don't go away. These girls would insinuate that I was a crackhead. And like that is, and by the way, we see the Katie's famous post where Katie's like, Joe is spooky. I mean, none of us could stand to be around her. Her energy is on par with a crackhead. She's a psycho. I will also light her on fire with Raquel. Jolene Lunzer, like on yesterday's show, if you heard that, she said she found and put up Joe is the first person that has ever referred to herself as a crackhead. And she's thinking that Katie had picked up on that previously. So, I mean, listen, it still sucks to be called a crackhead, but at the same time, I don't think Joe's a crackhead. I think she's a meth addict. No, no, I don't think I just think there's like certain high energy people. She does have ADHD and she's a character, she is a character. Joe continues in a talking head. It's hurtful and harmful to anybody who has ADD. And Billy Lee to Joe, who's still plugging her ears, like, what is happening? Did you hear something? And Schwartz comes up behind Joe and Joe's like, what? And Schwartz is like, I saw you plugging your ears. Why is everyone, there was a moment. I don't want to. And Joe in a talking head's like, there is one thing to hear it on social media, but there's another feeling when you can see 5 girls and you just kind of feel like they're talking shit about you. That does suck. Yes, it does suck. I do hope Joe in those moments realized that is what you were going to be walking into based on what they think of what you've done. And on top of that, you are like a whirling dervish just spinning around. So there are a lot of things, but yeah, it does suck. I don't think anybody would argue otherwise. So yeah, totally feel empathy with her in that moment. But there are reasons. And Scheana's like talking about like, oh, I said the braids and the hair or whatever. Camera still shows Joe's got her finger in her ears, and Billy Lee's like, what are you doing? And Joe's closing her eyes, shaking her head, trying to shut it all out. And Allie's like, to the other girls are like, I saw Joe last night, and she didn't like my straight up questions of like, okay, like, are you fucking Schwartz? So I said, do you find him physically attractive? And she said, yeah. And then I was like, well, do you have emotional feelings for him? And she said, yeah. And then she said, like my dad, which is a weird follow-up. I mean, it is weird when you've had sex with somebody multiple times and then you're like, it reminds me of my dad. And then Ariana's like, she fucks her dad? And Lala's like, no, no, I can't go there. And Allie's like, honestly, she's like trying to come in peace. The camera shows Joe just adjusting her tom-tom hat again. She has this energy about her where she's like, and Katie's like, she's psycho, Allie, come on. And Ariana's like, girl, that was me a year ago. So Ariana and Ariana's like, that was me being Allie of like trying to stand up for Joe a year ago because Ariana used to stand up for Joe a year ago. And this is where Ariana and a talking head, it's like needle scratch. Like, how did we get here? She's like, before anybody starts boo-hooing over how Joe is treated by any one of us, know that Joe is a full-blown mean girl bully who did not give a flying fuck about spending Thanksgiving with me in my home while knowing that our mutual friend was fucking my boyfriend in my house. And it is not bullying for me to point that out. So that's like a real sobering statement. I don't think anybody can argue that because we even see a photo of them all at that Thanksgiving dinner and Joe's in the background going like, links, like even being like Joseph in the photo. But yeah, man, Joe, those are hard things to come back from. And that's like even with Sandoval, if Joe like even pulled Ariana aside of like, I didn't know what to fucking do. Oh God. Because I think when you're in those situations, you almost like trauma bond with the people that are fucking over the other people. And then you kind of like start like feeling cool about it and hanging out. And it feels like a secret mission when you're just being a douchebag. You're like, oh, it's Mission Impossible. No, you're just being a douchebag to Ariana. Anyways, Allie's like, I met her once, twice. I totally believe you guys. I just want to know that she can come to events or we're not going to come, And Katie's like, well, I don't want her to feel like she can come anywhere. So Joe, Billy Lee, and T are moving from corner to corner, and they're like about to walk past them. And Scheana's like, uh-oh, she's getting closer. And Joe's walking by. It's like, I'm uncomfortable. And Katie's like, I don't want her to feel comfortable, period. So if she feels uncomfortable, then I'm thrilled. Listen, that might sound harsh, But it's so funny. Like Tom can be as angry as he want at everybody, including Ariana, but Katie, who has reasons, or Ariana has reasons, they're sometimes labeled these bad people. Like there's nothing in society that says you have to be nice to people that have fucked you over. Like, especially when you've not gotten any kind of sincere apology. So trying to reframe the narrative in this of like, oh, it sucks to be bullied. Yes, it does suck to be bullied, but it also sucks to do the things that Joe did. There's like a lot of things to look at, you know? So Schwartz spots her and she's like, Joseph, what are you doing? And she's like, what's wrong? Are you crying? Joseph, what's wrong? Maybe it's because you call her Joseph so much. And Brock's standing there too, because she's in the bathroom now. And you can see producer Jeremiah there and Joe's off camera. She's like, I don't like being attacked. I want to go home. And she's like, where's Joe? What happened? And Brock's like, hey, relax on the where's Joe? Relax there, Scheana. And Joe is with Billy Lee and T. And she's like, God, I hate this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But she doesn't seem like she's freaking out in that moment. So it seems like she was able to pull, get those emotions under the, underway. But I also wonder if there's also a thought in there of her, of Joe liking that Schwartz is like, Joe, what's wrong? Joseph. Like if she kind of likes that attention too. I mean, because it is a traumatic environment, but she knew what she was walking into. She's seen every season of Vanderpump Rules. That's the other thing too. Like, you know what you're signing up for in certain ways. Of course, that still doesn't take away from the actual reality of it. But I just think there's a lot of different things to look at. Anyways, DJ James Kennedy, he's rocking. He's like, don't put your drink there, Allie. You're not allowed to do that. Naughty. Because Allie put a drink down on like a record. Anyway, Sandra was like, can I get a Heineken Zero? Is this season sponsored by Heineken Zero? Sheena's standing right next to him. She's like, I'm drinking tonight for like the first time. So cheers. We'll see how this goes. Sandoval's talking to Kyle Chan, doesn't even hear her or is purposely ignoring her. And Lala's like, are you going to tell Scheana? And Katie's like, should we? And Lala to Ariana goes, I had like juice or whatever with Schwartz. That's a new thing of like, when Lala first was saying, I thought she meant beef, but then I realized they actually did have juice at the creation place. Like, dude, I have total juice with Sandoval right now. And it's like, oh, you had actual juice. And Lala's like, he's like, I know, we've all fucked up, but like, I made out with Scheana. And Ariana's face is like, what? And Lala continues. And I was like, can we go back to that? It was like in Vegas. And Ariana goes, well, I made out with Scheana in Vegas, but is this the same time? And Lala goes, I don't know. By the way, Ariana, man, made out with Lala, made out with Scheana, laying it down. Way to go, Ariana. Lala goes, I don't know. I just don't know how to bring it up to her. I don't want to be like, yo, bitch, what the fuck? Well, I mean, you don't have to say, yo, bitch, what the fuck? You can just say, hey, can I ask you something? But Lala goes, it's also a little bit about, yo, bitch, what the fuck? And Lala goes, they said they were kind of joking about it during the holidays this year, he and Scheana. And I was like, I don't like that at all. The camera flashes to Scheana drinking and laughing with Madison and Allie. And Ariana is like, is this like an inside joke between you guys? And Lala like, that feels gross. And Katie's like, that part like bothers me. So have you guys like joked about this before? Sandoval finally gets like, so the girls are all sitting there and Sandoval finally he's like, Heineken Zero bravery. He comes up. He's like, hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Anyway, hey, do you like those potato chips I put under your door the other day? Anywho, enough small talk. Real quick, Ariana, I don't want to bother you, but I just want to make sure that you got the email that I sent earlier, like about a month ago. And Ariana just looks at him, just like, and then like kind of turns to stone and she goes, my lawyer has it. Looks away. And Sandra's like, well, just, I want to get things going, get things moving. If you can just have him respond so we can, start working on stuff, and Ariana just doesn't reply, and Sandra was like, yeah, okay, yeah. And Lala's like, what is it? What's this about? Lala trying to keep the conversation going. And Sandra's like, oh, that's a great question, Lala. If with the house, with the house. Yeah, yeah. And Ariana just remains a statue. And Sandra's like, well, just let me know, whatever, it's been a little while, I just want to make sure. All right. Well, have a good night. Oh, well, I'll leave you guys alone. Rock and roll. And Lala on a talking head goes, it is taking Ariana a long time to rid herself of this house. It's fucking weird. The brand deals are endless. Trust me, bitch, you're doing just fine. You can afford an apartment. This is where this shit doesn't fly with me and Lala. And I guess to some people that think, oh, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, it is weird. It's fucking weird that Sandoval is there. Why is the onus on Ariana? Yeah, it is fucking weird. Guess what? She said what she was going to do from the start. She got her house. She's moving out. And also, Ariana did stay in other places during this period of time. So that's something that it's like she wasn't just glued to that house. There were other things, especially when Dancing with the Stars was happening. So there was a lot of time both of them were not staying at that house together. But this shit, Lala, it just doesn't help. And it's like, what are you getting at? What piece of information do you have? Come out with it. Because each week I just feel worse and worse about you, and that sucks. You can't be there. Like, I always think Lala wants to be the reliable narrator, but she's fucked up so much shit in her past. And then she's like, what I've learned about growing and healing. Have you learned about growing and healing just shitting on people that haven't really caused the situation? Is that something? Is that some part of the four agreements that I didn't get to yet? I think that is the shittiest statement. And it just comes off of like, Lala's popping off in a talking head. Lala gives good talking head. It's just shitty. It's just shitty. Like, how did this season turn into the girls turning on each other when we've got something right here served up on a golden platter? Tom Sandoval. And you could even throw Tom Schwartz in there, get a little heat on him. But no, we're pitting the girls against each other. It's weird. Anyways, DJ James Kennedy's like, wow, the Ziggy outfits are on point tonight. All right. Sandoval is trying his best to sound interesting, he's wearing his lightning bolt necklace, his lightning bolt earring. He's like, hey, T, my first job in LA was next door at Sky Bar. She's like, really? Yeah, dude, I was a pool boy, a pool attendant, dude. And he's like, pool boy, so you're thirsty all day. Sandoval on a talking head's like, T seems super chill, dude. Super laid back. You know she's gonna let me raw dog her, dude. And Sam was like, hey, so T, are you good at bowling if you want to go? She's like, yeah, I'm down. Billy Lee's like, I did it. I officially pawned my friend off. Sandoval continues on talking about, I always think new dates with people I just met are a little awkward, but maybe it's because I haven't experienced it in a very long time. Which, like, the subtext there is like, I just fuck, I don't date. Like this whole like, I've got to get back there. Like, are you kidding me? Stop with this. Stop with the nonsense. We get a flashback to Kristen, with Sandoval handing Kristen flowers. Like, look, I got these for you. They match you. Flashback to Ariana, Sandoval going, I love you. A flashback to Raquel going, Sandoval's like, they love you. And Rachel's like, I love you too. And Sandoval's like, I said they love you. And she's like, oh. But it's just like the same pattern of behavior. And by the way, Sandoval being a pool boy, do you know one of my first jobs in Los Angeles was at this day spa, really nice day spa. I was a spa boy, a spa attendant. And it was in West Hollywood, a really nice place. But, you would pass out water and towels. But my unofficial job in there, I've talked about this many times over the years, was to make sure guys didn't hook up with other guys in the spa, because it was like we had a membership program, and it was just like shit would get nuts back there. Like, it was the weirdest. And I came from Arizona, and it was like me and my buddies from ASU, we all worked there, and we saw shit. Like, we were just so innocent back then. We were like, wait, what's going down? Like, you would have to. Oh God, I have so many stories. I have the weirdest stories from that day spa. I almost did like a one-man show in my 20s called Spa Boy, because there were just so many weird stories. Like, we would walk out of there, like the women's spa attendants got tipped nothing, and the guy spa attendants, we would go walk out with like hundreds in cash because all the dudes would like tip us. It was the weirdest job. I remember just going like, should I have even moved to Los Angeles? This is wild. It was so weird. So anyways, Sandoval and the Talking Heads like, it's time to rip that Band-Aid off and go on some dates. Woman of Los Angeles, you've been warned. They're the Sandoval on the loose. Darth Sandoval, come to the dark side, women of Los Angeles. I'm going to be inside you. What's up, dude? Do you like karaoke? Tom Sandoval on the most extras. DJ Tom Sandoval. Yeah. So Katie, meanwhile, leads Scheana over to an area, and she's like, okay, hey, I don't know how to bring this up because it was brought up to me in such an abrupt way. And Scheana's like, what? Is this about John Mayer? And Katie's like, apparently Lala had juice with Schwartz, and she was talking to him about Sandoval and how he's so over the top and everything. And he said, oh, we've all fucked up, and I've done this, and I've done this, and I've made out with Scheana. And Scheana's like, Schwartz said that? And Katie's like, yeah, he said you were in Vegas. And there's like a pause. And Scheana's like, what happened was me and Ariana were there with my mom and my sister for her cheer competition in like high school. I don't know what that, like, Katie, it was a cheer competition. I mean, nothing bad happens at a cheer competition. She's like, and Schwartz pulls me in this corner and kisses me. And Katie's like, when was this? And she's like, well, I think Shay and I were maybe just engaged. And they flash back. We get a Shay sighting from 2013 with Shay's like, will you marry me, Scheana? Of course I will. Oh my God. We got a Shay sighting, you guys. And Katie's like, why would he say we made out if you guys didn't like make out? And Scheana's like, we did not. That was not, no. Scheana, this is the point. Like, Schwartz is there. Why wouldn't you just like, hey, Schwartz, we can talk over here. Let's all be in the same room and talk about this. And Katie's like, well, saying somebody was trying to kiss somebody versus making out. And she's like, nope, that was not a make out. No. Can I tell you who I was making out with on that trip? Ariana. Like, I will throw Ariana under the bus. Scheana and the talking heads, like, I wanted to pretend like this never happened. I never told Shay. I never told my mom. Oh my God, Scheana's mom. Have we checked on Scheana's mom? I never told my best friends. I mean, also, I would never have told Katie, especially back then, because like that bitch is scary. I mean, that was peak tequila Katie hates Scheana days. And we get a flashback to all these, moments of Katie to Scheana and like Katie going, what's hilarious is you calling yourself practically engaged and like grinding your ass on Peter's penis. Rest in peace, Peter Madrigal. We miss you so much this season. It's so nice to even hear about your penis, but I would just love to see you just managing the waitresses at Sir once again. And then Schwartz in a scene of like, I heard what you said about Scheana. And Katie's like, my own boyfriend is sticking up for the whore in there. And Doute's in the shot, like holding Katie down. Scheana continues in a talking head. There's no way in hell. Like, by the way, your man wanted me in Vegas and he kissed me. Like, no, never. Scheana in this scene goes, why would I bring that up to blow up my own relationship or your relationship? And Katie's like, but now it's a joke. It's funny now. I'm not making fun of it, Katie. No, he said you guys were joking about it over the holidays. Over the holidays, like a banking holiday? And Katie's like, this past holiday, you guys were like making jokes about it with each other. I may have made a comment like, oh yeah, well, you're a makeout whore like you tried with me once. This guy really is a makeout, man. I've heard so many stories. He really is a makeout. It seems like he just likes that little little makeout whore. And I love that he's like fully aware. Katie goes, but I'm looking at the course now, like over the course of our like friendship, you have been a bridesmaid in my wedding. And Scheana's like, yeah. And Katie's like, and these things, this is all like, this has never come up at all. I would assume with Tom, oh yeah, like he's Tom, like a million girls. I was like a broken person. Like I was a shell. Like my confidence and self-worth was like next to nothing. This is where you kind of feel for Katie of like, her confidence really was beaten down. Like she was a broken person and she kind of got made fun of for being that way. And a lot of that anger that Katie expressed was because of situations like this. Because she was not able to have her boyfriend do the things that he should have done, and then her husband as well. But yeah, Scheana was a bridesmaid at her wedding, which is darker. And I love that Scheana was like, I wouldn't have been invited and been allowed in the wedding if I told you. It's like, I wanted to go. I love parties. Scheana's like, well, which is why I would never have brought that up because I knew you'd already done a number and shit on your relationship. Why would I hurt you more for being like, yeah, he did that? And he's like, well, cuz she's like, I wanted you guys to work out. I wanted this to be Schwartz did this in his past and he fucked up and you got married and you had your happily ever after. I wanted to be part of that day. And Katie's like, yeah, but you being somebody that also was a part of that whole narrative and part of our wedding. Katie in the talking head says, I would have expected something like this from Schwartz, but Schwing had literally years to tell me about this. I don't like liars and especially lying by omission. It's just making me wonder if I'll ever be able to really fully trust or be close to Scheana. Katie, let me stop you right there. None of these people should trust any of these people. It's like this is like a spy game at this point. This is like the live action version of The Traitors. Katie's like, well, I wish I would have known. It's like, the more you know. The NBC, like the star, the more you know. And Scheana just rolls her eyes. I mean, Scheana, I know, is like, I wanted you guys to be together. Well, maybe like because he did things like this, you would have wanted your friend to not be with him. Like, I don't think he's in the right place to get married yet. A new scene the next day brings us to Lingua Franca, where James and Lala are meeting up with Schwartz. And what is DJ James Kennedy wearing in the scene? It's like, hello, Elton John. He's wearing like this spangly black. And also Tom Sandoval, all of his talking heads, like he's wearing full on Zara's women clothing. And he looks fine. He looks good in them, but like, let's just call it, he's wearing Zara women clothing. Like he's wearing blouses, sports jacket. They're all from Zara. And I've had now like 5 people show me links to the Zara clothing. They would not fit my pear-shaped body. I mean, but like it's really next level. Anyways, Schwartz ordered a cocktail because he's not, mainlining sobriety today. He's like, but after that, I'm going to do mocktails. And James is like, you're naughty. Schwartz is like, did you guys have fun last night? And he's like, I always have fun when I DJ. And he looks directly at the camera. And I'll make you have fun too at any birthday party or extravaganza. I also DJ funerals. Anyways, Schwartz is like, I mean, well, I did have fun, but I was in Schwartzland. And Lala goes, did you talk to Joe after? And she's like, yeah, I think she was having an anxiety attack. Plus, I knew she was okay because she slept over at my house. And we have a flashback to 6 hours earlier over breakfast at his place. It wasn't like, Joe, come in the morning back to my place. And Joe's like, I was just scared shitless. I've never met humans that are so aggressive. And Schwartz is like, she's fine. And Lala goes, and when you see her, do you like kiss her? And he's like, no, gross. Kind of like when we hang out. It's like that, Lala. This is another mild flirtation of like, it's kind of like when we hang out. We could hang out in that way, right, Lala? Except we haven't had sex. And Lala goes, yeah, that's very different, actually, Schwartz. And Schwartz is like, yet, yet, we haven't had it yet. And Lala's like, Schwartz, I would break your dick in half, all right? And I didn't know if this Lala was saying like, I would break your dick in half if you tried something, or you couldn't handle me because I do acrobatics and I would literally break your dick off. You know, like I didn't know which way she even meant it. I'm telling you, there is a mild flirtation here. And Schwartz laughs. He's like, oh, anyways, sorry you had to hear that, server. I'm sorry, the server's already quit, you know. And they order some drinks, and Sandoval walks in, you know. They show him walking down this like creek, and he's in like this Hawaiian shirt. He's like, bow chicka bow bow. It's so Mark Wahlberg and Boogie Nights to me. Like, let's keep on rocking and rolling, dude. And anyways, Schwartz is like, what's going on, Tom? And Lala's like, energy seems good. You happy? Yeah. You have a good day? Yeah. Do you have a good day, Lala? I had a great day. And Santa was like, hey, I like your nails. Mine are ombre. And Lala's like, thank you. I'm just so used to you coming in with your hat down low. I know, dude. I know. And Schwartz is like, slouching? Yeah, dude. Like I got neutered by that stupid bitch Ariana. And James is like, someone woke up on the sunny side of the bed this morning, huh? And Schwartz is like, where are you coming from? Well, I was running around. We had some air. Oh, you guys. Oh, we had some air conditioning issues, as you do in the valley. So I had to go in the main bedroom and like close some vents. And then the door got left open, and Maya, the dog, went in there and like, I don't know, ate some weird stuff. And Schwartz goes, she does that. Hey, did he ever tell you the story when she ate like 500 laxative pills? Or was it 50? And Santa was like, it was 500. What is this guy doing? Like cutting coke? Like why? Who is taking 500 lax? Tom Sandoval. Like no wonder he's like all slimmed out. 500 laxative pills? This poor fucking Maya. Like 500 laxative pills. And I love how he presents it of like the door got left. He leaves out the part that we find out later that he shut Maya into the room. Like didn't even realize like, oh, I forgot that Maya never left the room. Sandoval and a talking heads like Maya very often, dumb dog, gets into things. She's eating laxatives. She's eating pillows, hair coloring, my guy liner. Sandoval to the group's like even on top of the couch, Lala, she like shat, dude, on top of a couch. Yeah, Sandoval. Laxatives will do that to you, and she doesn't have the opportunity to use a human bathroom. Are you fucking? Yeah, man, she probably shit everywhere. Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude, she shit on the couch. What a dumb dog, dude. Also, I also have a theory that Raquel maybe shat on the couch and they blamed it on Maya because the heat was too close. Like, don't let Ariana find out. I'm going to tell Maya shit, okay? I'm scared, Tom. No, dude, she'll buy it. Anyways, Lala's like, shat? And Sandoval goes, shat, dude. Sandoval and I talking to is like, I know Ariana's very upset at me, but no matter what, it's clearly an accident. So this one, like, I would love to ask a follow-up question as a producer, like Sandoval, like, hey, Sandoval, so the Raquel thing, she can be mad at you about that, but this one, she shouldn't be because it's clearly an accident. And that's kind of the end of the story. Also, but then why are we arguing that this dude does not have narcissistic tendencies? Because he really doesn't seem to think outside of this little box that is himself. Like even in his own home, he's not thinking about other people. He's thinking, oh, it's fucking hot in the valley, dude. Gotta close these vents. He's not thinking about the dog or the cat. He's thinking about himself, his own comfort. There seems to be this little narcissistic streak in this man that he doesn't think outside of certain things. Like I feel like this is just highly irresponsible, you know? Anyways, Sandoval's like, anyways, how you guys doing? And Lala's like, well, I'm doing this water sommelier thing. It's basically an expert in water. I've seen this guy on TikTok, actually. So he's going to be on next week's episode. He's going to come over and like, do, water tasting and everybody's welcome. And, James is like, I'm down. And Schwartz is like, yeah, I'll do it. How did you feel last night? And Sandoval's like, I have so many feelings. There's so many things that happen. And I was like, by the way, I get why Ariana gave you the cold shoulder, like ice, strictly jawline and bone structure. Oh, yeah, you saw that. But Katie and I were like, oh, we feel a little bad for Tom. Lala, I don't know if Katie felt like that. And Schwartz is like, ah, Schwartz is like, good, it's working. You can tell Sandoval like is hiding his boner at this point. It's like, oh yeah, dude, the master plan is working. I'm trying to like move forward, take action, make it super easy for her. And Lala's like, well, I know how it feels to have someone hold you hostage to your past or their version of it. Is she talking about Randall? Like, I'm so confused in what she's referring to. Maybe you guys will let me know what she's referring to, but like, hostage to your past. I can't keep up. I'm getting whiplash just keeping up with Lala's changing opinions. Anyways, I was like, it's been humbling. Like I've also been trying to do guided meditation and also just explore other ways to handle anxiety and anger. And James is like, yeah, meditation, really good. Working out, really good. Masturbation, really good. Therapy is good. And Sandra was like, I'm working with this guy tomorrow, and I wanted to see if maybe you wanted to come, Lala. And Lala was like, what is this? Well, this guy, he works with breath work and self-improvement and all of these things. And like, I wanted to see if you wanted to come tomorrow. And Lala just stares at him and like kind of tries to digest what he's saying. And Sandoval in a talking head goes, Lala and I don't know if we've ever been that close. In a way, it seems like less about reconnecting and more about like actually building something, which is the subtext there is like, I realize that we're on a TV show and we need new people to do scenes with. And so I guess for the first time in 7 years, I will try to be friends with Lala. Kiss her ass a little bit, stroke her ego. Lala goes, I don't want to hold you to your past in any way, shape, or form. I just don't know if I can participate right now. I don't want to make a mockery of the work that you're doing. Lala, don't worry. I will do that in a second. So do not worry your pretty little head about it. I got that. And she's like, do you mind if I sleep on it? He's like, no. And Lala's like, then I'll let you know. I appreciate you inviting me. Yeah, dude, of course. It's the next day. We do this hop over to like Katie's in the valley. She's getting ready in her bathroom. And then we hop over to Lala's and we just say you're taking dishes out of the dishwasher. Do we need this? Like, honestly, this is a supersized episode. It's like, what? Like, I don't need to see Lala take 2 dishes out of a dishwasher. And then we go over to DJ James Kennedy, who's making avocado toast. And Allie goes, I like banana on my avocado toast as well. Great information. Next, we go over to Sandoval's Valley Village. Okay, so get ready, guys. This is going to be loud. I've been working on this all day. So this is going to turn your volume down or something like this. There's going to be a lot of breathing, yelling, all of those things. This is what I trained at Arizona State University's theater department for. Okay. We're at Sandoval's Valley Village. He's lying on the floor with a sleep mask and headphones. A man is like 5 feet away from him with a computer and a microphone and headphones as well. Like it's very scientific. So Tom's like laid out on the floor. It's like, and the man's like 3, 2, 1, in, out, in, out. And we hear Sandoval performance of a lifetime. He's like, and this is Dr. Vu, lifestyle and performance specialist, and he is guiding Sandoval through a breathing meditation exercise. And Dr. Vu, into the microphone, he's like, these few minutes are going to set the tone for the entire session. And Sandoval is panting on the floor. And Dr. Vu's like, in, out. You're investing in yourself and your spiritual growth. Stay on track. You've conquered tougher challenges, all of the reflection of your inner world. And Sandoval's like, it sounds like Joe's there too. Like, zoinks, pull my finger. Oh, yeah, babe. Dr. Vu's like, remember, the universe always prioritizes our growth over our comfort. Now, I would also be like, remember, Tom, that you're really creeping out the universe right now. Lala enters the house right now. Thinks there's probably like some porn. Like, are those girls over there from the pool party again? Like, because it's like, so Lala's like listening and just watching. Dr. Vu yells, deep breath, in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, Tom, and hold it. Squeeze everything in your body, Tom. Exhale with a big ass scream. And then he goes, I love you, Raquel. Buy a laxative pill. Lisa ice cream. Dr. Boo kneels by his head on the floor with a pillow and is like, young man, you're going to Broadway. That was quite a performance. Poor Maya is just like in the other room, like literally shitting her brains out. Sandoval and I talking to is like, it feels like an emotional orgasm. Oh my God. I bet Tom does this. He's like, I'm close. Did you have one too, dude? All right. Dr. Boo's like, well, I think you've got a friend here. And Sandoval's like, who is it? What? Wait, what? Who's here? So staged. And he's like, you can take your blindfold off. And he looks, it's Lala. He's like, what's up, Lala? What's up, Lala? Hi. Hey, dude, wow. It was cool, dude. Do you want a latte? And so he makes her one of those dumpling lattes. And they go outside. And he's like, I feel really good about this. Appreciate you coming over here. Did you just hear me have an orgasm? Anywho. And Lala's like, yeah, it seemed really great. And I know that you wanted us to, do it together. But I think, can you imagine Lala? Little Lala was like, ah! It's like, I know that you wanted us to do it together, but I think that was so meaningful for you to do, like, solo. And Lala and I talking that goes, we should reserve the right to evolve and fuck what anyone else says. And you know what? Let's say he's bullshitting us all. He's the one that has to sleep with himself. It doesn't affect my life. I sleep really nice at night. Producer's pet. She is producer's pet. She'll do a scene with a monster. She is producer's pet, and then blame it on psychology. The universe opening up for me. Lala goes, what happened last year, Tom, was just like the cherry on top. And I feel like for a really long time, I have really, really tried. I texted you to tell you I was proud of you about the bar, and I never would get responses. And when my life went south, not once did you ask me how I was doing. And Santa takes this in. And he's like, well, don't want to say it. Okay, well, I apologize for that. I didn't feel sometimes appropriate doing that because there was a little bit of a disconnect with us. And I was like, and I get that, but I just want you to know that it wasn't just last year for me. Whatever went on for you and Ariana, whatever decisions that you made, do I approve of them? No. Do I understand of them? No. Is it a trigger for me to see parallels? Yes. Like, I think those three things that you said is like, maybe don't be hanging out with them then. But it's like, it's not only you. I did it to Tom Schwartz. I did it to every straight man I came into contact with because what happened in my life really, really fucked me up. And I know that it's not fair. And I'm working on trying to heal and I'm trying to trust again. And I don't want you paying for my experience with someone else. So in a way, this is the weirdest scene ever because Sandoval is kind of in the weird way getting an apology from Lala. I mean, first of all, I kind of recommend to all women, it's like, yeah, be very skeptical about men. Like, period. That's fine. Like, do it. Yes. But like Lala's own experiences, she doesn't owe Tom Sandoval an apology because of her own traumatic experiences with a man. Like, no, like, it's like, that's a good way to be, Lala. Have a healthy skepticism. Yes. Like, you do not owe Tom Sandoval an apology in this moment. I know you were trying to be some like kind of like enlightened person, but to me, this is just even more confusing. It's like more of a mess. To me, this is like sloppy in so many ways. It's like sloppy, weird thinking. And Sandoval's like, thank you, dude. Well, I just want positivity and I want to be positive to other people. I don't want to walk in a room and people be like, fuck, I don't want that. But the way that things have worked out in like my life, I do feel like this was supposed to happen. And maybe what you went through was maybe supposed to happen too. Okay. But the difference is Lala, what happened in her life, she might have turned a blind eye at times with Randall, but Randall did that to her. Tom did this situation to Ariana and he did this to himself and Raquel and other people. So there is a difference. This didn't happen to Tom. It did happen to Lala, but it didn't happen to Tom. Tom created that environment for himself. And that's a huge difference. And the fact that these things are just being skated over is so weird to me because I feel like these are learning moments to be like, Tom, I need you to understand. Like, I still don't feel like to this day, even after filming, we know that he does not understand because I feel like he was able to like just get by. Like, I don't know if they just truly don't listen to each other in these conversations and they go in with their own agenda. So they're not truly listening. Lala goes, of course, Tom, I've been held prisoner to my experience for way too long. You and what you did, that is not my fight. I now have to go into this is what I want. This is what I feel good about. And I did feel good about coming here and having this conversation with you and letting you know that this is good for me. I was like, fucking Gandhi, man. Sandoval's like, I appreciate your vulnerability, Lala. I would like to become better friends with you and invest in that. What is this? Like, if I do, is this like Wells Fargo? Invest in that? This is such a weird show, you guys. Lala's like, okay, well, let's see where it goes. Cheers to that. Cheers, dude. What is going on? Make it stop. It feels icky. Okay, so now we shoot on over to something about her. Katie and Ariana are meeting there, and Penny is there. And I'm sure you guys know by now, there is some weirdness, it seems like, with Penny. I noticed on her Instagram page, she doesn't have any mention of something about her. She didn't mention that she was on the show this week or when she was on a couple of weeks ago. And I do believe that Penny owns the trademark to something about her. So I don't know what is going on because at this point the space is fully, decorated, all of that. They're doing this other tasting of the sandwiches. So something did go down with Penny. Something is up. Like, you do this for the attention, for your brand. And if you are not telling people you're actually on TV tonight or there's nothing on your social media about something about her, yeah, something must have gone down. We will find out what that is, but it is definitely very weird seeing her in this scene and her not mentioning anything about this. Anyways, they're doing this tasting again. Katie's saying there's permitting issues, but they're making improvements in the sandwiches. Logan comes in, Ariana's BFF that Rachel outed last week, which I talked about, I think, on Monday's episode. And Freddie Mellencamp, remember the friend of on Beverly Hills, Freddie Mellencamp? She got into beef with Logan, or tried to get into beef with Logan this week. I thought this was hysterical. It's like, Freddie, take all of the seats. Don't, like, what do you do? Like, it's sometimes just ridiculous. I know this is what she does. It's what I do as well. But like, sometimes I'm like, dude, it's right there. Like, it's so quick detour here. Logan, I told you, I think it was after the reunion a week and a half ago. Bravo had released the seating chart, which we talked about. I did a video on it, and they always do that with the reunion seating charts. But after they filmed the reunion, I think it was like Sunday night, Logan, or Saturday night, Logan was like, some of these people won't see heaven. I think obviously referring to the fight that Lala and Ariana got into at the end of the reunion and probably a lot of other stuff. And like, listen, this is Ariana's really good friend, has gone to bat for Ariana so many times. And I'm sorry, I think it is weird if you see how this season ends and stuff. There seems to be a shift with Lala, especially where it seems like she's looking after her paycheck, which is totally her prerogative, instead of any kind of like looking at certain things from a realistic vantage point. It's just coming off very weird. So, Logan retweeted the Bravo thing with that comment, the Bravo seating chart. That was what he did. And then on her podcast, pooping off with Emily, who I love, Emily from Real Housewives of Orange County. This is what Freddie Mellencamp said. I don't see you on either of these couches, so why are you tweeting this out?
Yeah, and why is he sending out the seating chart?
Yeah, like all the things. Logan, have a couple seats, or go serve another cocktail at Sir. Or is that
where he works?
I don't know. He might be her publicist now. It's hard to say. Oh. They have, a paid friend. Where it is.
It's so weird. It's like, Freddie, you're a paid friend for Kyle sometimes. And also, you take several seats. Don't take a reunion seat because I don't want you to actually sit in a reunion seat again. But like, that is wild. Like, a paid friend. Like, come on. You actually know, like, and Logan put this in his stories. He says, wait, why is Teddy Mellencamp coming for me? LOL, dragging me for working at a bar. And he goes, Tom, by the way, not Sir, calling me a paid friend. I've always been very nice to Teddy. Teddy, girl, check your DMs. So this is a little kooky. Hey, a little spooky kind of. And he goes, and by the way, Bravo shared the seating chart on their social media, and I shared my opinion about it, just like you are literally doing on this podcast. So what's the difference? Other than the fact that I've been on Vanderpump Rules way more times than you have, I'll go ahead and save you a seat as well. I think that's weird. Like, cause Freddie knows how it goes down, and Freddie will, like, it's just like, she'll kiss the ass of these people when she needs them and then try to like run over them when it's, I don't know. I was just kind of grossed out by that. What do you guys think? I was like, listen, there are a lot of people that I could like slam that are periphery friends on that show, but just Logan is not one of those people. And I think that's gross. That, I don't know. That to me was gross. Anyways, they're coming into the sandwich shop, and they're doing the tasting, and Lala and Atugan is like, why are we doing this again? We did this last summer, and they flash back to last summer. Well, they're doing it again because the space is actually decorated where it wasn't last time, which was on the season finale where Tom was boffing Raquel, and they were at Kyle Chan's jewelry opening. Joe, Schwartz, Rachel, and Sandoval. And then Sandoval and Schwartz went into the something about her tasting directly after that. Sandoval brought Ariana flowers, the whole bit, when he was fully in this other relationship. So dark. So Lala, the reason why we're doing it is because you promote things on this show, and they're trying to promote this restaurant. Lala's like, yeah, I get it. The sopressata, we saw this last summer. Please, can we fast forward through this just like a little bit? Wait, this part's really funny though. And they do this little thing like a DVR of like bloop, 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 like fast forwarding. I hate sometimes when they do this because I'm like, you guys actually have a story to tell. You don't need these little effect jokes. Schwartz is like, he's enjoying the sandwiches, and James is like, Schwartz wants a manwich. We know Tom likes a sloppy Joe, right? Which is a Joe. Oh, Joseph. And James in a talking head goes, I had very high hopes for the girls at the very beginning of this whole sandwich endeavor, but as the weeks turned into months and the months turned into more months, there's not much difference between Ariana and Katie's sandwich shop and Tweedledee and Tweedle Little Dick, Schwartz and Sandy's, is there? So it's a smashing success. They're going to bring sandwiches over to Sir, where Lisa Vanderpump and Ken will be there because she can't be here at this tasting. But I thought, once again, it's just like, Lala, are you just looking for opportunities to be shitty at this point? Whatever you do, Lala, you will hope that all of these girls speak highly about you in the talking heads about whatever business you create in the future. Anyways, Lala is talking to Ariana. She's like, hey, I was at your house today. I saw your boyfriend orgasm scream into a pillow. Which, by the way, that guy with the pillow, like he had the pillow right next to Tom. And I was like, is this dude about to kill Tom with the pillow? He was like, inching closer to Tom as he was screaming. I was like, is he going to smother Tom? But he's telling Ariana, he's like, hey, because last time we went to mocktails, Schwartzy invited us. He said Sandoval may come, he may not. He popped in, and he says, hey, I'm doing this breath work thing tomorrow. I'm going to lay down on the floor and not watch after Maya the dog. And I was just hoping you would do it with me. And I was like, I just don't think you and I are there yet, but there's got to be some sort of growth, right? Anywho, I like Lala's like speeding past the story. We went outside and had the most productive conversation that I've had with Tom in all of my years of knowing him. This is one of those things that I just think is hysterical. It's like last week with Scheana. It's like, why are you telling Ariana this? It's just like one of the turning of the screws. Like, Tell Lisa this. Lisa will kiss your ass. Oh, Lala, I love that breath work. Outside, talking growth. Yes. But why tell Ariana? Like, why? It's just kind of like shitty. It's like, oh my God, it was amazing. And Ariana talking to it's like, very cool, Lala. Very cool. Don't know if I really buy it, but cool. And Ariana goes, Lala, the reason I wasn't at my house was because I was at the emergency vet because he was so insanely irresponsible with my dog. She had to have an endoscopy. He went into my room yesterday. I had a takeout container on my nightstand. After Hotel Ziggy, I had takeout. He not only let Maya in there, but then shut her in for hours. So she ate wooden skewers from chicken satay. And it's just, also, everybody out there, invest in pet insurance. It will really, I know that sounds crazy. When you get a new pet, invest in pet insurance. It was one of the best things my ex did with our dog, rest in peace, Brooklyn. But it's so expensive. It is so insanely expensive. Lala goes, well, that could like literally kill a dog. Yeah, Lala, it could. He's out there screaming into an orgasm pillow. Ariana's like, it could literally kill her. So I'm home for all of fucking 30 seconds before I rush her to the vet. They x-ray and all the stuff. The bill is $6,000. Ariana and I talking head goes, thankfully the vet was able to get everything out and Maya's okay. But this is like added to the laundry list at this point of reasons why my ex cannot be trusted to have decent judgment when it comes to anything. Tom is stupid, but on top of that, all men are stupid, including myself. I'm a big fucking dum-dum, but like, this is it. She nails it. This is real life shit. Like when like a pet emergency or something, this isn't like reality show bullshit about like Lala and Scheana trying to be friends with Tom again. This is real life, man. She did have to take her dog in. How many examples also are they going to hear about Tom Sandoval for their like have a healthy skepticism? Anyway, Lala's like, Ariana, I would highly recommend having that conversation. Ariana's like, there's no way I can have any conversation that is not literally me fucking slitting his throat right now physically and being arrested. This is not the first time that he's given zero shits of the well-being of what I consider to be my children. This is like, I mean, just like Lala knows this. Imagine somebody telling her this about Randall. Like, you've got to have this conversation with Randall. She would be, fuck no, I'm going to slit that man's throat. I literally had to sneak out in the middle of the night. They only communicate through lawyers. Lala says when she's asked about it. She was on Jeff Lewis. She's like, no, we only communicate through lawyers. Lala, you know this better than anybody. You could be such an ally to Ariana in this part of like, listen, I'm going to keep talking to Sandoval, but I totally understand why you don't. Like, that is the part I don't. Also, I mean, like, it's great about the sandwich shop, but like, can we go back to like, I still can't get over the Maya and the 500 laxative pills. Like, this should be a whole season. Like, I am more invested in Maya and 500. This poor dog. Sandoval's got in my stash, dude. Oh my God. This poor dog. The true victim of Vanderpump Rules. And then Lala next, she's like, that dog knew it when it was getting in for. Like, Lala turns against Maya. Well, I'm sorry. Maya shouldn't be poking around in other people's stuff. What are, like, that's so, like, that's the season right there. Like, boom. Like, what? The dog fucking $6,000 eating chicken satay skewers? And then it's not the first time he's done 500 laxative pills. Like, it's like, what is Maya, like a drug mule for like weight loss? Oh my God. Make it stop. Oh. Also, I was thinking about the reunion is, you know how like they had to watch the last 7 episodes like a couple days before the reunion? Because Andy Cohen was talking about it. He's like, oh, I got the last 7 episodes. They're fantastic. Because, you know, the cast didn't have them until like, you know, a day or like a couple days before the reunion started. So I have a feeling watching Lala do her talking head bullshit, and I'm sure it gets worse, that that Ariana was like super pissed going into that. So I imagine seeing it that close to actually the reunion probably didn't help that situation at all, and would probably get somebody pretty pissed. Like, also, if I saw somebody slagging me off about my sandwich shop and about like Tom and about the house and stuff, I would be like, what the fuck are you like? I would be angry, rightfully so. I mean, if somebody like Lala is running her mouth at this point, like, it's not even hiding it. And so I really want to know what the real beef is. I want to know, like, Lala, what information are you holding? Like, please say you have something, because if you're just doing this to be contrarian and to make good television, I think that's going to backfire on you at some point. Like, honestly. And it's like a show about friends, but Lala was brought into this show. She was a casting choice that actually ended up working out. That's how good Lala is. But she wasn't like one of those OG friend group people. So I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about. Anyways, back to this. We have we're over at Sir, and Lisa arrives at Sir, and Ken's like trailing far behind with a dog on his arm, you know, like the, you know, just like me and this dog, it's my life force, help me. Oh. And Schwartz is like bringing espresso martinis to Katie and Ariana. And Lisa's like, sit here, darling. The girls are coming by. And Ken's like, all right. He's just shuffling. Oh, I'm going to Musty. I can't believe I'm here. Oh, help me. The girls are coming with their sandwiches because I just want to taste their sandwiches. This is ages since they did that. Now it's up and running. It's going to open. And Katie and Ariana present the sandwiches. And, you know, Lisa's talking, I'll have the caprese. I love the bread as well. It's sexy bread. It's really good. In a talking head, Lisa's like, I can't believe the sandwich shop is still not open. They signed the lease over a year ago. My sexy restaurant Wolf will be open before something about it. From what they've spent on the place, it costs a fortune to have a space that's empty. I advise them to stage a fire for insurance money like I've done many times. But also, Lisa knows exactly why this place isn't open. So I like it. Just like this is like the bit of reality television. And Ariana's like, yeah, the bread's gonna be great. Lisa continues in a talking head. And sandwiches, they've got to sell a shitload. They need to start now. And then Ariana's like, hey, I found out something really juicy. And Katie's like, maybe 2014, I found out that Schwartz kissed Scheana in Vegas. And Ken comes alive. He's like, Schwartz did? Schwartz did? Oh, I can't believe Schwartz kissed Scheana in Vegas. I can't believe that. Was there a jacuzzi involved? Help me. I can't believe that. Ken finally woke up. Good morning, Ken. Schwartz, I can't believe Schwartz did that. What was he thinking? Oh, what's wrong with these boys? And like Ken can't say too much because Lisa's so pro men. He's like, oh, I'm gonna knock that man's spark out. Oh, shut up, Ken, please. We do know that we need to keep this show going. You cannot forgive these girls. It's the girls. Ariana's a horrible person. Please. And I just love. He's like, Schwartz did? Oh. And Lisa's like, Schwartz was kissing Scheana. And Katie's like, yeah. And Lisa's like, no. But at the same time, good. We can actually get some mileage about that in next season. And Katie's like, oh, yeah. No, who said that? And Ariana's like, well, they both said it. And Katie's like, I talked to both of them. We get a flashback to 2 hours earlier. It's something about her. I don't understand why this, I don't want this a flashback. I want this a main scene. Katie's talking to Schwartz. She's like, Lala told me some news that you dropped on her. What? You and Scheana back in the day? And Schwartz is like, oh, no, well, and Katie's like, I know this was 11 years ago. And Katie's like, well, we're done. And I'm glad about that for these very same reasons. It's just, another thing that I was kept in the dark, with. And George was like, oh, did I do that? It's just like, oh, shucks. I wanted to see that whole scene. We saw a whole scene with Scheana. Schwartz is the dude that did it. Schwartz went in for a kid. I want to know what was going through your. Sometimes I mainline darkness, dude. And Lisa's like, they kept that very quiet for a long time. Clever girl. And Katie's like, uh-oh, here comes Schwartz. And Schwartz is like, I got you guys some espresso martinis. Hello. And Schwartz is like, hi, guys. What's up, Ken? And Schwartz spills some of the espresso martinis on the girls. Ken's like, what the fuck are you doing, Schwartz? What? Lisa's like, I can't believe you made out with Scheana. And Schwartz winces. He's like, it's a long story. Katie's like, and I was so trusting. You had it so good for so many years and you blew it. You fumbled so hard. And now you got sloppy Joe. And Schwartz is like, oh, come on. Let's not do that. Okay, I gotta go. Abort. And Ariana's like, oh, abort? Did it get hard? And Schwartz is like, no. And Katie's like, Tom, you're being like, do we have to do this again? Oh my God. Schwartz in a talking head goes, didn't we just work through this? Why is Katie bringing this up? She's like Gordo when he gets a bone. Man, he will not let it go. Wow. These men and their dogs. It's like when Gordo takes some of Maya's laxative pills. Why? Oh, how dare Katie bring this up? She just brought it up after 11 years one time, and now it's the second time. When will it end? Oh, man, women. You can't live with them. You can't kill them legally. Am I right? This is ridiculous. This is completely ridiculous. Katie should be angry. Katie should even have residual anger. I mean, she just found out a couple of days ago, but yes. And Schwartz is just like, oh man, Katie's just like a dumb old dog with a bone. Schwartz has always been just so shitty to Katie. I mean, he's charming to everybody else, but really shitty when it counts with Katie. And it's a bummer to watch. I still haven't heard a flat out apology or an explanation. Hopefully that got lost somewhere in the edit. But Schwartz is like, I'm out. And Lisa's like, do you feel angry at him? And Katie's like, he orbits in my universe. And it's just he fails every time. And Ariana's like, yeah, it's like Arrested Development. And Katie's like, yeah, it is. And then Schwartz goes to the bar and Brock's there. He's like, oh, fellas, man. And Brock's like, buddy, I was premeditated. And Schwartz like, that was a bad idea. I just got grilled. Yo, you were just sweating. What did you just walk out on? And he's like, holy shit. Here, you want to have a drink this and recompose? And Schwartz is like, I'll do half of it. I love that Schwartz is like, no, I'll only do half of that shot. Which, by the way, you see the shot, he does the full shot. I have my limits. I'll do a half a shot. well, they were roasting me. I'm roastable. They down the shot and Brock's like, what did they roast you about, old Schwartz? And Schwartz is like, about Scheana and, about me and Joe. So I guess Brock knows about the Scheana Schwartz thing. Like, Brock's like, Brock looks like he's like, yeah, okay. They went back to that old song and dance, huh? And Schwartz is like, what I used to do sometimes, even though me and Katie had a tumultuous relationship, she would get me very upset. And I had a lot of pent up resentment with her. And I handled it in the most cowardly fucking way. I would retaliate and get shit-faced and make out with a stranger. Oh, I'm the biggest fucking coward on the planet. Schwartz is having an episode. Like, this is like iconic episode for Schwartz. Like the way he tells these stories, they're so dark. And he'd be like, I handled it in the most cowardly way. I just got so fucked up. Like, so he would say, like, he would purposely get fucked up knowing he would go make out with somebody. I've said this for years because I've covered this show for years now. And I said it felt like he used to just get hammered so he could cheat on Katie. But like, is it like, I mean, I just think he wanted to like kiss people. Like, I think him blaming it in retrospect on the pent up resentment he had towards Katie is wild, especially since this man doesn't go to therapy. So it is like, it's weird. Yeah, it is. I don't think he's hitting the nail on the head. And it's also this kind of like poor me stuff. Like, oh, poor, she drove me to do it, man. And Brock's like, so you felt like so repressed that it was your outlet, that I was like your fuck you. And Schwartz like, I'm ashamed of it, but I wanted to sit down with her and I'm fucking sorry. You wanted to sit down with her. Like, you didn't even tell her. She found out for somebody else. Brock in a talking to goes, Katie's overreacting from a kiss over 10 years ago. Katie needs to get off her high horse because I know for a fact that there's some real double standards happening. Huh? Now I'm led to believe that Brock doesn't know what double standards actually means. Also, Katie is not overreacting. Katie's very calmly talking about being disappointed, unless they're editing something out that it was Brock's like, can I tell you the truth, George? Yeah. We were partying the other night and Katie left with somebody in your friend group. And he's like, what? Yeah. Wait, who is it? It's your boy, bro. Max? Yeah, Max. She took him into the restroom. And Schwartz is like, she fucked him? Oh my God. Katie and Max? Schwartz in a talking head's like, Max is the former manager at TomTom. Remember? He got fired for racist tweets. Anywho, he's also a very good buddy of mine. Yeah, this has all the telltale signs of a revenge bang. Well, are you saying, Tom, that revenge bang would actually be Max Boyan's revenge on you? Because Kate, it's like the onus is on the woman. Like, okay, so Katie's to blame. Katie used her wicked ways, her wicked witchy ways to make Max sleep with her. He didn't want to at all, very conflicted about it. He's Schwartz's boy, so we know Max couldn't be at fault for this. But this Katie, she's a bad seed. Anyways, we have a flashback from 2019 of them, and then Brock is like, well, okay, I didn't watch. I wasn't in the room. We sent a message, hey, where are you at? His location was her house, and he sent an emoji of a face, eyes, and a straight line, the emoji. And so Brock is letting us know that they had Max's location. Scheana did, and saw that it was at Katie's place. And Schwartz is like, oh, I fucked up. And Brock's like, and then the third party was bound to happen. And Schwartz holds his head in his hands. He's like, this is so weird. It's like all of the times I lied about knowing about Rachel and Sandoval. He doesn't say that, but he should. Brock in a talking head's like, after Hotel Ziggy, we decided to go to an after party. Scheana invited Max. He rocked up. Katie was there, and throughout the night, we could see they were getting close. And as we all start to leave, they kind of left together. And Scheana in a talking head's like, later that night, I tracked his location and I see, I don't think you live in the same building as Katie. But then the next morning, just out of curiosity, I checked it again and he was still there. Also, Kristen Doute lives in that same apartment building as Katie, so he could have been to Doute's place too, because Max has, boinked Doute before. Brock and her talking, it's like, look, if you know Scheana, you know that she is a location collector. I like Scheana Shay, the location collector. She will collect your location like nobody's business. Coming fall 2024. Scheana and a talking head's like, they show her looking at her phone for a minute because they ask her how many people. And Sheena's like, 56. And Fraser's like, you have 56 people's locations? And Sheena's like, apparently. It's not like a weird thing. I'm not like, what are you doing right now? Where are you? Refresh. I do kind of feel like she is that a little bit, but also I do think also, especially with women, that is a very safe thing to do. Like it's Los Angeles. I mean, every woman should like, be like doing this with their friends. I think that is, but 56, that's a wild number. That's a lot of people. And I do think there is a blend of two things. I think Scheana, by the way, we'll talk about this, had Raquel's location because people were DMing me like, do you think she had like, Raquel's location and knew about the Sandoval stuff? And I remember I was like, oh, I do know the answer to this because Scheana did talk about this last year and I posted that this morning, but it was, I remembered reading about this in an Us Weekly article. Scheana had talked about this, that she did have that, Rachel's location. So this is from an article from Us Weekly. Scheana saying, I just saw a lot of things that were off and started questioning them the end of January. She turned off her location that I had for over a year, which was a red flag number one for me. Scheana Shay tweeted in June 2023, referring to Leviss's strange behavior. Because remember, Rachel wound up at some California concert that Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras was doing out of nowhere. And Rachel turned off her location from Scheana, and Scheana is on that shit, dude. Scheana is like an Inspector Gadget, talking about that. So I downloaded it real quick. I have not heard the Inspector Gadget theme song in so long. What a cartoon. But I love that Scheana is just doing the detective work with locations. She's tracking all of her friends. I do think there is a good heartedness to it, but I also think that Scheana loves information. Scheana loves to know where everybody's going, and Scheana puts things together really quickly. So I think she knew immediately that Max was boinking Katie potentially. And also, did we get confirmation that they boinked or did they just make out? Probably, anyways, Sheena's like, apparently it's not like a weird thing. I'm like, what, it's not weird. And Schwartz in the scene is like, Max? And Brock's like, yeah, brother, Max. Now Sandoval is with T, the girl, and they're walking down the sidewalk to Sir. And Sandoval's like, they say there's something in the candles here that makes everybody crazy. Do you know I orgasmed into a pillow today doing breath work? And Sheena's watching the room and Sheena's like, who's in the hat? Is that Sandoval? Because he's dressed up like Kyle Richards, mixed with Mumford and Sons. And Lala's like, yeah, that's him. And Sandoval's like, what's up, guys? And Schwartz hugs T. And Sheena's like, who's that girl? And Brock's like, T, you don't like a tea bag. Boop. What are you, Brock? What is going on with you, man? And Sandoval's like, we went bowling, dude. You guys went bowling tonight. Yeah, dude, it's like the 70s. I wanted to dress like 70s. Sandoval's in a whole getup. And we do a flashback to this bowling alley. I think it's in Highland Park. And Sandoval's doing the Michael Jackson fancy moves with the ball. How is this young girl yeah, this is super hot. It was the way. It's like, whoo, the way you make me feel. You really turn me on. Whoo. It was so embarrassing. This really got T going. Anyways, T was taking pics and videos of him. It was weird. And Brock's like, you missed it. Instead of what happened, dude? Max and Katie went home, and he wiggles his two pointer fingers. It's like, what? They touched dicks? And Sam's like, made out? Sam's like, made out? And he's like, no, fucked. Touched pee-pees. And Sandoval just stares with a toothpick hanging in his mouth. This is so weird. Sandoval and I talking, it's there's a total double standard when it comes to Katie. There always has been. It's so fucking obvious how ridiculous that it is. This is Sandoval, Mr. Forgiveness and Growth Sandoval saying back to the hatred of Katie after Katie last week said, yo, man, you really did affect things in my marriage and all of this stuff. There is just absolutely no growth. Sandoval has always hated Katie, period. And also Schwartz seems like he's had a healthy hatred of Katie as well. Ariana's at the table of girls outside and, so they're doing it, and then they go up near this bar with T and Brock, and Schwartz is like, by the way, Lisa just texted. She wants to talk to us. Tom, do you want to come back to the garden? And Brock's like, so you kicked his ass bowling, T, huh? Teabag, yeah. And Ariana is like, okay, I'm getting some water. Scheana goes up to Brock and T, and Brock's like, this is the wife, T. This is Scheana. And Tina's like, hey. And she's like, T, hi, can I have your location? And Brock's like, Ariana, this is T. And T's like, hi, nice to meet you. And Ariana's like, well, I'm going to go behind you and get a water. And Sheena's like, did you hook up with Sandoval? And Brock cracks up as Scheana is like, doesn't waste any time asking. And Brock's like, Sandoval and T went to bowling tonight. Ah. And Ariana, he's like, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 25. And Ariana smiles. She's like, well, that makes sense. I'm sure you've been given a different version of events from reality, but don't waste your time with a 41-year-old narcissist. All I can say. And Scheana's like, what did you say to Schwartz, Brock? And Brock's like, I told him. And Scheana's like, why? And Brock's like, because it wasn't your place. I didn't want you to be the one to tell him. And Scheana's like 2 inches from Brock's face. And she's like, I wasn't going to, Brock. And Brock's like, why are you so upset about it? You're making my heels shrink. And Scheana's like, why would you do that? That's not our place. I was like, wait, what? I'm so confused. I can't tell if Scheana's like putting this bit on for the camera because it seems like something that would be revealed or wanted to be revealed. And Brock's like, you were going to say something if I hadn't said something? No, I wasn't, Brock Thaniel. And Scheana and a talking head's like, Katie and I are in a good place. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Brock? And Brock's like, Scheana, pull your head out of your ass or I'll go home. Oh, yeah, Sheena's like, okay, good. Stop, Scheana says. And Brock's like, I'll go home. You're ridiculous. Your responses right now annoy the shit out of me. And he storms off. And meanwhile, Ariana is telling T, well, I was at my grandmother's funeral. They were fucking in my house. This is kind of funny. It's like, T's like, I just went bowling. T's like, oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God, you're so strong. I would have led with, he let my dog have 500 laxative pills. Ariana's like, you're a prize. He's not a prize. Would you agree? He is not the prize? Yeah, it's a little cringy, but yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you pull a 25-year-old in front of your ex. Scheana is turning to them and she's like, yeah, no, okay, nice to meet you. And T's like, bye guys. And Ariana and Scheana go back to their table. T is now standing alone at the bar. And Lala's like, what's wrong, baby? And Sheena's like, ask Brock. And Ariana and Brock's like, why is she upset? And Katie's like, what happened? And Brock's like, she's upset that I spoke to Schwartz about last night's interaction with you and Max, the old hippity dippity. And Ariana's like, what's last night's interaction with you and Max? Boyens? And Katie's like, wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Ariana turns like to the camera area and she whispers, what is going on? And Lala's like, do you have a thing with Max Boyens, Katie? And Ariana's like, I don't know what's happening. And Katie's like, so what? Max came over to my place afterwards. And by the way, there is a dude from Vanderpump Villa, Marciano, who is seated at this group of people. This is one of the leads of Vanderpump Villa seated at this table. In fact, he's going to be on the show next week, the new Hulu show that premieres Monday night. So this guy is just randomly sitting with this group. And Brock's like, yeah. And Katie's like, okay, whatever. And Brock's like, just for some Netflix and chill, huh? And Katie's like, so what's the deal? And Brock's like, there's no deal, Katie. I was just letting him know his best friend was at his ex-wife's house. I mean, that's not, I think Katie has an apartment, but Katie's like, why does he need to know about it? And Brock's like, because he got his ass ran for keeping it in the friend group, but you went to his best friend. And Katie's like, when I asked him like 3 months into our separation not to fuck any friends in the group, and he did not give a single fuck about what I thought. By the way, I'm yelling. She was not yelling. And Lala's like, did they sleep together? And she was like, I'm staying out of it. It's none of my business. I got to go check out my locations. And Lala and a talking head's like, I do not recognize this version of Katie. Like the Katie I know doesn't seek revenge fucks. She just doesn't. She talks about him. Flashback to a year earlier, Katie going, you want to start fucking this person? I'll run a train through your restaurant. Lala continues in a talking head. She actually doesn't go and do it. I love that Lala's like, Katie's lazy, basically. Brock's like, if my best friend slept with my wife, my ex-wife, I would be fucking headbuttom. And Sheena's like, oh my God, I checked to see if my friends got home safe. I saw his location. I was like, oh, maybe he dropped Kitty off. And then I checked it again and I checked it again and I kept checking it again. I didn't sleep. I was just checking it all the time. And it was still there the next morning. And I was like, this was like, Scheana was like on the case, man. I would love to see Sheena's text for like, we need to subpoena Sheena's text because she probably texted so many people like, guess where Max is? Katie goes, Scheana, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, Brock saw it on my phone. That's why he went and said something right now. I feel like this is set up. And Scheana was like, Brock, you got to tell him. Lala goes, by the way, kind of fucked up of Max, which by the way, Lala nails it. It is kind of fucked up of Max. Max in a current quote unquote best friend relationship with Schwartz. That's fucked up of Max. Like Katie, like we just never learn. Brock, who's screaming, he's like, thank ya! Would you blame it on me? I was like, yo, your friend. And Lala's like, they're fucking thick. Your best friend. This fucking group is weird. That's what we should call this show now. Just like, this fucking group is weird. Season 11. Lala on a talking head goes, I just feel like everyone's full of shit. Ariana's lying about why she's still in the house and her financial situation. This is what I'm talking about. What does that mean, Lala? Give us what she's lying about. I do think also there is something legally that if she can't leave the house, if she wants to actually, like, there are certain rights as a homeowner that you have to be in the house. I wonder if that has anything to do with this, but Lala is, having some piece of information that she's not coming out with. That's what it seems like, because she's running her mouth a lot. And she's like, Scheana, by following every single person's location, and she and Schwartz are hiding that they made out one time, and now Katie hooked up with Max, who's Schwartzy's best friend. And like, that's a big secret. The way everyone is moving is just like ick. Unfortunately, Lala does not have the place to be the moral center of this show. That to me is ick. So it's not a good foundation. It's like the Titanic. It's going to sink. You can't have Lala as the moral center of the show, but Lala is dead on right. The whole thing is a big ick. Lala's like, I'm leaving. This is fucking chaotic and a fucking weird, I don't want to be transparent about anything way. No, I'm annoyed. I'm leaving. I love you all. Goodbye. Lala making it about herself. And she goes, and Scheana's gritting her teeth. She's like, I'm so mad at him right now, Brock. And now I'm going to check Lala's location next time on Vanderpump Rules. We have a French sommelier guy in James' backyard. He's like, oh, water. And then Schwartz is like, Max is literally my best friend. And you fucked him, his best friend. And Katie's like, Tom, how many best friends can these guys have? Like, I thought Sandoval was sure. Like, I love that guys. It is funny as you get older. You're like, the best friend thing of calling somebody your best friend. Like, there is something of like deep. I don't know. There is something very elementary school about best friends into high school. But like when you're in your 40s, the best friend thing, it's like, I love this person, but like, when I say best friend, it's just interesting. Like we're running around saying best friends. Brock's like, Ariana needs to figure out forgiveness is more powerful than being bitter and angry. Everybody knows how to handle this. Everybody's just, Brock, all of his family situations, he's handled amazingly. He knows everybody is just so on top of their games and how to handle their own personal situations. So they do deserve to give Ariana this powerful advice. And then we have the beach day that we've seen a lot of scenes of. And Ariana to Sandoval is like, stop speaking to me. And Schwartz is like, I'm going to take Tom to the bar early. And Ariana's like, you keep shoving him down my fucking throat. And what do you think I'm going to do? Sit here and have the best fucking beach day ever? What do you expect? So, anyways, what a mess of a show, you guys. What a mess. This is long form, you guys. I'll probably split this into 2 episodes. You probably already know that by now. So people aren't scared of the time because there's just so much to talk about. Anyways, we're going to talk about the after show right now. Yeah, don't groan. There's some good information. So the after show is just great. They set up different groups of they have Jax, Schwartz, and Sandoval. You have one with Brock and DJ James Kennedy. You have with Scheana, Lala, and DJ James Kennedy. All different groupings, Ariana and Katie. And there's so much good information in this. So they talk about did Max reach out to Schwartz after this was revealed? And Schwartz is like, Max reached out 5 days later. I could tell he was uncomfortable. So we went and got lunch. And, and he's like, sorry, there was alcohol proximity. And, it's like guys are so weird too, of Max your best friend waited 5 days later and then you just took him to lunch and then blamed it on alcohol. And I'm not saying she was the aggressor, but it was on her bucket list. There was this weird kind of blaming Katie for this whole situation when it's your boy, man. That's your boy. And that's just be honest though. Max wanted to fuck Katie. Don't act like Katie was some aggressor. And by the way, if Katie is an aggressor, it was mutual aggression and Katie can do whatever the fuck she wants. This is very different than what Schwartz has done. They have been divorced now for multiple years. And I'm sorry, Max, and Katie says this later, Max was flirting with her heavily. And she was like, whoa, okay. If your boy is your boy, then, but that's what I'm saying. This group is such hellfire, pit of vipers that Max feels totally comfortable. He's ran train through half of these women on Vanderpump Rules. I mean, Scheana, Doute, Dana, Katie now. That's wild. I mean, sure, I would question why Katie would want to be with this dude in the first place, but that's not it's yeah, be with whoever you want. We usually don't question these guys when they're sleeping with every young thing out there, right? So I love this. Then Jax, Sandoval, and Schwartz have a scene, and Jax says, yeah, Scheana did some MacGyver shit, Kristen Doute taught her all those moves on the phone. Oh, God, women. And then Scheana says in her scene, says her and Max are very good friends. And that night he checked my location. He was a good friend and checked my location and saw I was at Melrose Place. So he came and met up, and that Katie was there. And Sandoval saw him that night as well. And Schwartz says in his thing, he's like, do you think it wasn't the first time with them? And Sandoval's like, I think Katie's the one, dude. Katie did all of this, dude. And Katie says in hers, well, when Max started acting that way, I was like, whoa. I mean, that's kind of crazy, but anyway, so this is like they do these back and forth scenes. But it seems like Max is a heavily flirtatious guy. We've seen it time and time again. And Katie was down to clown. And he took her to Pound Town. But I love that, like, Max, it's like Max gets like, it's like, it's not Max's fault. I know that much. I know, hey, if there's one thing I know about a man is that it's not Max's fault. I mean, this is like, it's like, he's your boy, your best friends, but like that, like it's all bets are off, I guess, when it comes to women. And that's what Max should tell Schwartz, and Schwartz should know. He's like, you live by the sword, die by the sword, I guess. And Scheana says he knew he wasn't going. Like Katie says, Scheana knew that Max wasn't going home. Are you kidding me? And Katie says, well, I didn't get a text from Scheana. She wasn't worried about me. But then Scheana today, this is how great. Scheana today in a DM was like, I did text Katie that night. And because Scheana did the same thing of like, hey girl, see, I saw your location. Like Scheana's just out there trying to get information under the guise of caring about Katie. That was hysterical to me. And then Jax says, yeah, Max texted me and he was like, I think I fucked up. So Max is reaching out to Jax Taylor of all people. Like, so Max was like excited. Like he was like, I've got to share the information. Look what I did. And Max told Jax that Katie poured him a huge drink of Johnny Walker and there was like the disco ball on her ceiling. And Schwartz is like, that was our disco ball. And at this point, Schwartz has his sleeve cuffed, like, and it's like, and they're trying to get him to uncuff his sleeve in the, like, and Sam's like, come on, dude, uncuff the sleeve. And he can't uncuff his sleeve. I mean, it's just like high comedy. Jax asks Schwartz, well, did you make out with Scheana? When did you do it? And Scheana lets us know this was right after season 1. And he said, Schwartz told her, he's like, I want that he wanted to say things away from the people they were watching. And he had watched me and Ariana make out that night, Scheana says, and he pulls me over and kisses me. So in my guy brain, I think Schwartz got all like horned up watching Ariana and Scheana make out and then thought like, hey, she's easy pickings, and like pulled her over and tried to kiss her. And Katie says, listen, I should be more surprised, but Tom Schwartz, it's not that surprising. I think it's interesting. So the girls get more, even the girls question the girls more than the guys, because I think girls just accept that guys are fucked up. Schwartz says, I convinced myself it didn't happen. Like I love, like Schwartz did. He's like, I tried to erase those memories that I caused. Ariana says, listen, I never said, I didn't. No, Ariana says in the scene with Katie about like the Scheana of it all, says, well, maybe Scheana never said it because she didn't want to make Schwartz look bad, because it was a bad look for Schwartz to do that while he was drunk. And Scheana in her says, yeah, Schwartz didn't ask for consent. He shot his shot. I shot him down. I told him no, and no one talked about it until he told Lala. But I mean, that's a really, like, he didn't ask for consent, but then Scheana's like, he shot a shot. I shot him down. Well, you kind of shot him down. It seems like there was a kiss. I mean, it went from makeout to a kiss to, it's a little confusing. Katie says, if it was a big nothing burger, why didn't you tell me? But maybe I should just realize that my boyfriend at that time was a creep. And Ariana asks, if Scheana had told you, would you have broken up with him? And Katie's like, yeah, I would have. Yes. That would have been like a bridge too far. And I think that would have changed the whole course of Vanderpump Rules. Like, think about that. I mean, by the way, everybody might be happy living their lives if Scheana would have told Katie in that moment. Katie says, well, I'd be more upset, but whatever. Katie doesn't trust Scheana's judgment on a lot of things, obviously. Ariana says Schwartz is a lost cause. In the scene with the guys, Jax is like, Schwartz is the makeout king, dude. He is the makeout king. Like, everybody knows. Man, I got stories, dude. I'm waiting for the right moment, but Jax is asking if he can't. Oh, Jax then all of a sudden seems concerned. He's like, hey, wait, can people track me on my phone? Hey, wait. He's like, hey, how do you, can I do that? Do I have to accept that? Like, he all of a sudden seems really concerned. And Jax is like, well, I know Scheana has Brittany's, and I know, like, yeah, Brittany's and Lala. And Brittany is in a scene with Lala, and Brittany's like, I probably lied about something to Scheana, and Scheana probably caught me because she has my location. I just realized that. And Brittany says, Jax, I turned Jax's off. No, I turned mine off on Jax's because I was mad at him. So he doesn't have my location right now. And then Sandoval's like, that's weird, dude. That's an invasion of privacy, dude. I love Sandra's like, that's weird, dude, because they would have caught me doing weird shit. So that's an invasion of privacy. Sandoval says, only one person has my location. And they're like, who has it? He's like, I'm not telling, dude. So I'm like, oh, okay, wow, the mystery. Okay, it's that girl. Ariana clears up the letter of intent about the house. Ariana says Tom sent a letter of intent. It was not a formal offer for the house. It was a letter that was very oddly written, and there was supposed to be an email attached that was not attached. The whole thing was very informal. He says she's not sure which one of his friends did it, or maybe he paid LegalZoom, but it was not anything professional. And the amount of money, there was no appraisal done on the house. So he made up these dollar amounts. So the email mentioned he will generously allow you to stay in the house until you find a place to live. But there was no mention of the furniture too, or things in the home. And that's important because there's $100,000 of furniture in that home that they paid for. And she's like, if there's no mention of any of that and it's not a professional document, I am not signing it. I'm not going to just sign some rights away and not knowing what I'm agreeing to. So that, I'm sorry, that's an explanation. Like she's just supposed to sign like this, like, dear diary, it's me, Tom. This is my legal letter. Like he probably just put it on a legal pad and he thinks that's what makes it legal. And Katie says, listen, I have a healthy amount of delusion, but that level of delusion that Tom has is really something. We go back to the guys and Jax is like, did it come to a point like you were just like maybe just sell the house and go your own ways? And Sandoval's like, well, I don't want to deal with the housing market right now. And, like I currently make all the payments, like, but she also is suing me. We're working on it. And Jackson's like, are you still hoping to keep the house? He's like, yeah, I am still hoping to keep the house. I use it and I will use it. We podcast there. The band sets up and plays. And that middle room, I've always wanted to turn into the bar. I mean, like I told you about that middle room. He like had, it was supposed to be this little speakeasy area. And he did all these little like things to it. Like the fire pit out there was like a huge production that he did. So I don't know. He's hoping to keep it. But like, I wonder what their neighbors think of Tom Sandoval at this point. Like a band's playing over there. He probably has like an improv team. Can I get a new location? DJ James Kennedy's with Brock. He's like, he told me he wanted to raise his kids in the backyard, by the fire pit. And Lala's like, oh my God, no. Like Sandoval's literally like, I see my kids there just running around. Hey, son, that's where your Aunt Raquel and I boned in the driveway. Ariana says Sandoval doesn't understand what boundaries are or respects them. He goes, I stated that we have a no contact policy, but he only honors it when he pleases. You don't just get to change your mind and play catch up to your whims. And then they cut to a conversation about Joe, and Lala says, listen, we are a tough crowd. And Brittany's like, I remember walking in with my romper that first day. It was intimidating. And then we have a scene of Katie and Lala where, Lala's like, you called me a whore? And Katie's like, I called you a whore. I call it like I see it. Lala says, I can't say we bully her, but Katie does need to disengage in the comments. Katie's a known person with 1 million followers. Why is Lala how about a Lala not saying disengage challenge? It's like she watched like that season of Salt Lake City and now like has co-opted the word disengage. Scheana, we find out recently weaned off Zoloft. And so that's, she was drinking that night at Hotel Ziggy. Lala says, yo, if someone removed my hat, I would have popped a motherfucker. I would have said disengage. She says disengage again in regards to Joe's hat. And Sheena's like, I'm not a mean girl. I don't make fun of appearances. I just gave her advice about her hair. LOL. But I'm sorry, knowing she was complicit in the affair with Tom, it made me extra saucy. And then Scheana says, people deserve the consequences of their own actions. And it's like, yes, people do deserve that. That's what Joe needs to realize also. Doute actually pops up in the after show as well. And Doute says, the night of the affair broke, get this information, you guys. This made my beard white. Doute says the night of the affair that the affair broke, Joe sent a text message on the same text message to Ariana, Tom Sandoval, and Raquel and said, I love you. I care about all of you. And it's really difficult for me right now. I'm sorry. That is spooky as fuck behavior. The night this was broke, Joe put them all on a text thread and said, I love you all. I care about all of you and really difficult for me right now. Joe knew exactly what was going on. Thank you, Kristen Doute. That should have been in the main show. So Katie also talks about Joe. She would reach out to Katie and ask, Joe would reach out to Katie and ask after the divorce, she would like, I'd love to cut Tom's hair. I just want to make sure that's okay with you. She would reach out to Katie in weird ways like that. Doute feels bad for Joe that Schwartz makes her feel like she's sort of a girlfriend and then fucks everyone else. And then Doute goes, he also fucked Lena, who owns the hair salon Joe works at. So Schwartz acts like this, like Schwartz is doing just fine out there with multiple women, multiple hookups. And then Jackson's like, I've been in this group many years and I'd be scared of these girls, man. They all hype themselves up. I like these, like, oh man, all these bitches, man. These bitches. Anyways, yeah, so great after show. A lot of information. Okay, folks, there's so many other little tidbits I could talk about, but we're 2.5 hours in, and I can hear Sandra yelling at me for making this too long. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll split it into two so they're easily digestible. And then Friday we'll do the Valley, and that'll be a lot quicker and a lot fun, a lot more, I think, a lot of fun. And I actually might have a special guest on Friday as well. So if you made it to the end of this, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if I always never know at the end of these journeys if they're any good or not, but I appreciate it. If you do like it, consider giving it a 5-star review and have the best Thursday that you can, and stay away from everybody that is involved in Vanderpump Rules. Darkness, all darkness, folks. Bye, dude.